I'm Alexis. I'm 22, fresh out of college and feeling like I'm on top of the world. My mom, Sarah, raised me on her own, working her butt off to give me everything I needed. My dad? Never met him, never cared to. At least that's what I always told myself. Graduation day rolls around, and I'm pumped beyond belief. My best friend, Jake, is in the crowd, cheering like a lunatic. Mom's in the front row, looking prouder than I've ever seen her. I stride across the stage, grab my diploma, and feel like I'm floating on air. But that's when things start getting weird. I notice this guy in the audience staring at me like he's just seen a ghost. At first, I brush it off, but after the ceremony, he makes a beeline straight for me. "Hey there, sweetheart, remember me?" I'm like, "Gosh, should I?" He gives this awkward grin and says, "I'm Tom, your dad." I swear my heart nearly stops. This guy, this total stranger, is claiming to be my long-lost father. Before I can even process it, he goes in for a hug. I backpedal so fast I almost trip over my gown. Whoa, hold on. What the hell? That's when Mom swoops in, looking angrier than I've ever seen her. "Tom, what are you doing here?" Tom throws up his hands, trying to act all innocent. "Sarah, come on. I just want to reconnect with my little girl. Make things right, you know." I'm standing there, feeling like I've stepped into an episode of The Twilight Zone. Jake slides up next to me and whispers, "You okay, Alex?" "Want me to get rid of this guy?" I shake my head, still trying to wrap my mind around what's happening. Part of me wants to tell Tom to get lost, but another part, I don't know. I'm torn. My whole life, I've wondered about my dad, and now here he is. Tom's still talking, spinning some sob story about how he's changed and wants to be a part of my life. Mom's not buying it, and honestly, I'm not sure I am either. "Look, Tom," I finally managed to say, finding my voice. "This is a lot to process. You can't just show up after 22 years and expect everything to be okay." He nods, looking genuinely sad. "I understand, Alexis. But maybe we could grab a coffee sometime, talk things out." I glance at Mom, who's shaking her head furiously, but curiosity is gnawing at me. What if he really has changed? What if this is my chance to finally have a dad? "I'll think about it," I mutter, not committing to anything. As Tom walks away, I'm left standing there with my diploma in hand, feeling like my world's been turned upside down. Jake puts an arm around me and Mom's looking worried sick. I'm torn between wanting to know more and wishing Tom had never shown up. One thing's for sure, my simple, straightforward life just got a whole lot more complicated, and I have no idea what I'm going to do next. A week after the graduation bombshell, I find myself sitting across from Tom. The place smells like burnt coffee and regret, kind of fitting for this messed up reunion. "So, Alexis, I bet you've got a million questions," Tom said, stirring his coffee like it held all the answers. "Yeah, like where the hell have you been for the past 22 years? I shot back. He sighed, looking genuinely regretful. "Your mom, she kept me away, said she didn't want me in your life." "Nonsense," I snapped. "Mom would never do that." "Look, sweetie, I know it's hard to believe, but—" "Don't call me sweetie. You lost that right when you bailed," I interrupted. Tom held up his hands in surrender. "Fair enough. I made mistakes, I admit it, but I'm here now, trying to make it right." I wanted to stay angry, but something in his eyes made me hesitate. Maybe it was the family I never had, or just plain curiosity, but I felt myself softening. "So, what? You want to play happy families now?" I asked, trying to keep my guard up. "Actually, I'd love for you to meet my family. My wife, Linda, and the kids, they're dying to meet their big sister." That hit me like a ton of bricks. You have other kids?" Tom nodded, pulling out his phone to show me pictures. There he was, arm around a pretty blonde, with 2 little kids greeting at the camera. They looked happy, like the family I never had. "They're cute," I mumbled, trying to ignore the jealousy gnawing at me. "They'd love to meet you. How about dinner tomorrow night?" Before I knew it, I found myself agreeing. The next evening, I found myself in Tom's suburban home, surrounded by the picture-perfect family I'd always dreamed of. Linda hugged me like we were long-lost friends. "Oh, Alexis, we've heard so much about you," Linda exclaimed warmly. "Funny, I can't say the same." I muttered under my breath, but forced a smile anyway. The kids, Tommy and Lily, bombarded me with questions about college and my life. For a brief moment, I allowed myself to imagine that this could be my life too. But then Tom dropped the bomb. "So, Alexis, I hate to bring up business, but I could really use your help." "My help?" I asked, caught off guard. Tom launched into a sob story about his failing business, how he was drowning in debt. If I could just get a small investment, say your graduation money, I could turn things around, provide for all of us. I nearly choked on my meatloaf. "You want my money?" "It's a great opportunity, honey. We could be partners," he said, his tone almost too eager. I felt a wave of nausea. Was this what it was all about? Linda looked uncomfortable, but the kids were blissfully oblivious. "I need to think about it," I stammered, making excuses to leave. Outside, I immediately called Jake and spilled everything. "Slow down, Lex. You're not seriously considering this, are you?" "I don't know, Jake. Maybe he's changed. Maybe this is my chance at a real family. Or maybe he's playing you. Look, do some digging before you do anything stupid, okay? I promised I would, but part of me didn't want to. What if I found something I didn't want to know?" But Jake's words nagged at me, so I started digging. And holy hell, did I find dirt. Tom wasn't just a deadbeat dad. He was a con artist with a string of abandoned families and fraud charges across 3 states. The deeper I dug, the sicker I felt. Staring at the evidence on my laptop, I couldn't believe how easily I'd fallen for his act. And worse, I had no idea how I was going to confront him. I knew I had to expose his whole operation, but first I needed to confront him face to face. Get him to admit his lies. So I called him up, playing it cool. "Hey Tom, can we meet up? I've been thinking about that investment opportunity." "Sure thing, princess. How about that diner again?" I gritted my teeth at the word princess, but played along. When I got there, Tom was all smiles, probably thinking he had me right where he wanted me. He thought he'd hit the jackpot. "So Alexis, have you made a decision?" he asked, leaning in eagerly. I slapped down a folder stuffed with all the dirt I'd dug up on him. "Yeah, I've decided you're a lying sack of crap." His face went pale. "What's this?" "Your greatest hits, Tom. Fraud, abandoned families, unpaid child support, ring any bells." He reached for the folder, but I yanked it back. Hands off. "Now, want to tell me the truth?" Tom's face crumpled, and he launched into another sob story about how life had been tough, how he'd made mistakes, but was trying to turn things around. "I just wanted to make things right with you, Alexis. Give you the father you never had." Damn him, but I felt a twinge of sympathy. And the money. That was just a bonus, right? He looked ashamed. "I admit I need help, but I swear, if you help me out, I'll pay you back. We can have a real relationship." Against every instinct screaming at me to run, I found myself agreeing to loan him $10,000. "But this is it, Tom. No more after this." He hugged me, tears in his eyes. "You won't regret this, sweetie, I promise." But I did. Over the next few weeks, Tom became a constant presence in my life, always needing something, more money, more time, more favors. "Alexis, honey, the business is really taking off. If we just had a little more capital." "Tom, I told you, I'm tapped out. I can't give you any more." He looked at me with hurt and disappointment. I thought we were building something here, a real father-daughter relationship. I felt terrible but stood my ground. Relationships aren't built on money, Tom. But the guilt gnawed at me. Was I being too hard on him? Maybe he really was trying to change. Then came the day I dropped by his house unannounced. I overheard Tom and Linda arguing in the kitchen. "I'm telling you, Linda, that girl's a gold mine. A few more sob stories and we'll have enough to pay off all our debts, and then some." "But Tom, she's your daughter," Linda protested. "Please, she's just another sucker born every minute, right?" I felt like I'd been blindsided by a truck. When I told my mom everything, she sighed. "Oh, honey, I was afraid this might happen. Tom's always been a user. It's why I kept him away from you." "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked, feeling a mix of betrayal and sadness. "I wanted to protect you. I guess I should have known you'd have to learn the hard way." Rage boiled up inside me. "Well, he's not getting away with it this time. I'm going to make him pay." That's when I called Jake. "Hey, remember when you hacked the school's grading system as a project? I've got a real project for you now." Jake was all in. We spent days creating a fake investment scheme, something so tempting Tom wouldn't be able to resist. But I wasn't stopping there. I tracked down contacts for Tom's other kids, the ones he'd abandoned over the years. Turns out, I had a lot of pissed off half-siblings out there. "Hey, this is Alexis. You don't know me, but we have something in common. A deadbeat dad named Tom. One by one, they agreed to be part of my plan. Tom had no idea what was coming for him. As I put the finishing touches on our trap, I felt a mix of excitement and dread. Was I really going through with this? Then I remembered Tom's words, just another sucker, and my resolve hardened. I called up Tom, putting on my best excited daughter voice. Hey Tom, I've got amazing news. Remember that tech startup my friend told me about? Their stock is about to go public, and I've got an in. We could make millions. Tom's voice practically dripped with greed. That's fantastic, sweetheart. How much do we need to invest? Well, that's the thing, I said. The minimum buy-in is $50,000. I was hoping maybe we could pool our resources. I don't know, Alexis. That's a lot of money, Tom replied, sounding hesitant. I played my trump card. I understand if you can't swing it. I just thought, as partners. But I guess I could ask Mom instead. No, I'll make it work, Tom said quickly. This is our chance, kiddo. We'll be rich. As Tom scrambled to get the cash together, Jake was hard at work, digging deeper into Tom's finances. Holy crap, Lex, this guy's been running scams for decades. I've got evidence of at least 5 other families he's conned. Perfect. Everything was falling into place. I organized a celebration dinner for our new partnership, inviting Linda, the kids, and a few surprise guests. On the night of the dinner, Tom was all smiles, probably already counting his imaginary millions. Linda looked nervous, and the kids were excited for cake. Before we celebrate, I have a surprise, I announced. I've invited some special guests. Tom, I believe you know them. In walked 5 people, my half-siblings. Tom's face went from confusion to panic. What is this, Alexis? What's going on? One by one, they shared their stories, tales of abandonment, broken promises, and stolen money. Linda's face grew more horrified with each revelation. Tom, is this true? All these children. Tom was sweating bullets. Now, honey, I can explain. Oh, I think you've explained enough. I cut him off. I cut in. But wait, there's more. I pulled out the files Jake had compiled, bank statements, fake business records, the whole works. You see, Tom here wasn't planning on investing anything. He was going to take my money and run, just like he's done to all of us. I can't believe this, Linda said, her voice trembling. We're leaving, Tom. Don't try to follow us. Tom lunged for her. Baby, please, it's not what it looks like. But it was too late. As Linda and the kids left, Tom turned on me, his face twisted with rage. You've ruined everything, he yelled. I stood my ground. No, Tom, you ruined everything yourself. I'm just making sure you can't do it to anyone else. What do you want from me? He asked, defeated. Your remaining assets will be distributed among your victims, and you'll sign over my $10,000. As he signed the papers, I felt no joy, only relief that it was finally over. In the aftermath, something unexpected happened. My half-siblings and I started talking, sharing our experiences. We formed a bond, a family of our own choosing. Mom welcomed them with open arms, joking, I always wanted a big family. As for me, I learned a valuable lesson. Blood doesn't make a family. Love, trust, and mutual respect do. Sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the one you're born into. The story's over now, but I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have given Tom a second chance or gone straight for revenge? Was I justified in exposing him, or should I have tried harder to build a relationship with my long-lost father? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm dying to hear what you would have done in this messed-up family drama. If you enjoyed this wild ride, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that'll make you question everything about family, loyalty, and revenge. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.
The call came at 3 a.m., just like it always did. My brother never could time his rock bottoms conveniently. Evie, please, he's in the hospital. Mum's voice cracked through my iPhone, that familiar mix of panic and manipulation that made my stomach turn. The Range Rover's totaled. He was, hi? I finished for her, already knowing the answer. My name is Evangeline, and this was the 7th rock bottom I'd witnessed in 5 years. Or drunk, both. That's not fair. He's trying. I laughed. the sound hollow in my empty apartment. No, Mom, he's not, and neither are you. 2 hours later, I stood in my childhood living room, watching the same scene play out like a tired rerun. Mom pacing, mascara-stained tissues clutched in her manicured hands. Dad slumped in his leather recliner, checkbook ready, defeated. And Jackson, my baby brother, sprawled on the couch with a bandaged head and glazed eyes, playing the part of the repentant addict perfectly. "It's different this time," Jackson mumbled, his charm dimmed but not extinguished. "I found this amazing facility in Malibu. Ocean views, holistic therapy." $90,000, I cut in. "That's what you're really asking for." Mum whirled on me. "He needs help. What kind of sister are you? The kind who's already paid for 2 rehab stays?" I pulled out my phone, scrolling through my photos. "Remember Passages? 60,000. You promised it would stick that time too. And Sierra Tucson before that? Another 50 grand. "I'll pay you back," Jackson slurred. "Once I get back on my feet. Like you paid back the startup money I lent you, or the rent I covered for 6 months." My voice stayed level, even as my hand shook. "Or how about Mum and Dad's retirement fund you drained last year?" Dad finally spoke, his voice soft. "Evangeline, please. We're family." "Family?" The word tasted bitter. Was I family when you blamed me for his first overdose because I stressed him out by going to college? When Mum said I was showing off by starting my company instead of staying home to help with him? Jackson tried to sit up, wincing. "Sis, I know I messed up, but I'm scared. I could have died tonight. You could have killed someone else tonight," I corrected him. "That would have been you, at least. Instead of just killing us slowly, watching you destroy yourself while we enable it." Mom stepped between us, her face twisted with rage. "How dare you? He's sick. He needs treatment, not judgment. If you have the money—" "I do have the money," I said quietly. "That's not the point." "Then what is the point?" she screamed. "That you're too selfish to help your own brother? That your precious business matters more than family? You're nothing but a soulless, empty shell who only worships money." The silence that followed felt like glass breaking. I looked at each of them. Mum, trembling with self-righteous fury. Dad, avoiding my eyes. Jackson, already calculating his next move. "You're right," I said, reaching for my car keys. "I am selfish. I'm selfish enough to stop participating in this circus. I'm selfish enough to say no. And I'm selfish enough to walk away before you destroy me too." "If you leave now," Mum's voice turned deadly quiet, "don't ever come back." I paused at the door, looking back one last time. "That's the first honest thing you've said all night." The door slammed behind me with a finality that should have hurt more. Instead, as I walked to my car, a strange calm settled over me. My phone buzzed. Probably Mom, already backpedaling, trying to reel me back in. I declined the call. Starting the engine, I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror. I looked exactly like the heartless sister they accused me of being. But underneath the composed exterior, something else was taking shape. An idea born of rage and rejection and years of watching addiction destroy not just the addict, but everyone who loved them. "I'll save addicts," I whispered to my reflection. Just not the one who buried me first. I pulled away from the house I grew up in, leaving the porch light on behind me. They'd need it later, when Jackson inevitably stumbled out to score whatever would help him forget tonight. But I was done being the light they left on, the safety net, the ATM, the scapegoat. Tomorrow I would start building something new, something that would help people who actually wanted to be helped. And if it happened to show my family exactly what they'd thrown away, well, that was just karma doing her job. My phone buzzed again. This time I turned it off completely. So let me get this straight, Paxton said, leaning back in his chair at the crowded coffee shop. You want to build a virtual rehab platform that's basically the opposite of every luxury treatment centre out there. I nodded, sliding my laptop around to show him the mock-ups. No ocean views, no equine therapy, no crystal healing, just hard work, accountability, and real results at a fraction of the cost. Paxton, former addict, brilliant programmer, and, potentially, my new business partner, studied the screens with intense focus. 6 years sober himself, he'd built a reputation for brutal honesty in the recovery community. You know the rich kids' parents won't like this, he said finally. They want to throw money at the problem, feel good about choosing the fanciest facility. Good. I took a sip of my now cold coffee. That's exactly the mindset I want to break. Addiction doesn't care about thread counts or ocean views. Neither will Reclaim. Reclaim? His eyebrow raised. The platform name. Because that's what recovery really is. Reclaiming your life from the mess you made of it. My phone buzzed. Another email from Mum. I deleted it without reading, just like the last 6. This is personal for you, Paxton observed. It wasn't a question. Everything's personal in this industry. I closed my laptop. Are you in or out? He drummed his fingers on the table, thinking. Your brother, the one you told me about, he's still using? Probably, I wouldn't know. I'm not family anymore, according to them. Good. His response surprised me. You can't save someone who's actively drowning you. Trust me, I was that drowning person once. He extended his hand across the table. I'm in, but we do this right. No shortcuts, no special treatment, no exceptions. I shook his hand. Deal. 3 weeks later, I sat in Hallie's office, watching my best friend and PR manager review our launch strategy. The messaging is perfect, Hallie said, pacing energetically. Disrupting the rehab industrial complex, making real recovery accessible to everyone, not just trust fund babies. The press will eat it up. Will they eat up the fact that I refuse to help my own brother? Hallie stopped pacing. That's exactly what they'll eat up. You're not just another tech CEO. You're someone who lived this nightmare, who chose tough love over enabling. That's your story. My phone lit up with a notification. An email from Dad this time. Subject line, final notice. Speaking of family drama, I muttered, opening it. Hallie watched my face as I read. That bad. They're formally cutting ties. Apparently, I'm dead to them. Until I remember what family means and help Jackson. I laughed, but it came out shaky. They even had it notarized. Toxic people love official documentation, Hallie said, taking my phone and setting it face down. Use it. Channel it into Reclaim. Success is the best revenge. The launch email for Reclaim went out exactly 1 month. After that night, I walked away from my family. The response was immediate. Within hours, our inbox flooded with applications from addicts' families and treatment professionals wanting to join the platform. Look at these stories, Paxton said during our first team meeting, scrolling through submissions. People who can't afford traditional rehab. People who've tried luxury facilities 5 times and failed. They're desperate for something different. Something real, I added, reviewing the numbers. We've got over 1,000 applications already. We need to start screening. About that? Paxton shifted uncomfortably. We got an application from someone named Jackson. Different last name, but the details... My hand stilled on the keyboard. Forward it to the review board. Standard protocol. No special treatment. Good or bad. You sure? It's your company. You could... It's our company, I corrected him. And we built it on principles. The moment we compromise those, we're just another broken system. Later, that night, alone in my office, I finally opened the application. Jackson had used our mother's maiden name, but the story was unmistakable. His answers were perfectly crafted to pull heartstrings, just like always. My cursor hovered over the accept button. One click and I could be the good sister again, the prodigal daughter, the family saviour. Instead, I clicked forward to review board and closed my laptop. Walking to my car, I got one last notification. A news alert. Tech entrepreneur launches revolutionary addiction recovery platform. The headline made me smile, not because of the recognition, but because I knew my family would see it. They'd know what I built from the ashes of their rejection. They'd understand that their weapon of choice, abandonment, had become my foundation. Sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do to others. It's what you build without them. Day 15, check-in. Serenity's face filled my screen, her eyes clear and focused. I almost used yesterday. Had the money in my hand, knew exactly where to go. I leaned closer to my monitor, watching our Star Beta participant. Something about her rawness, her complete lack of pretense, kept drawing me in. But you didn't, I said. No, she smiled, revealing a chipped front tooth she'd never fixed. I opened the Reclaim app instead, did the emergency protocol, called my sponsor, went to a meeting. Boring stuff that actually works. Unlike the glossy testimonials from luxury rehabs, Serenity's daily video logs were unfiltered reality. No makeup, no script, no ocean backdrop, just brutal honesty from a former heroin addict fighting for her life. The boring stuff is what saves lives, I told her. How's the job search going? Got 2 interviews tomorrow, entry-level stuff, but... She shrugged. Can't be picky with my record. Besides, Reclaim taught me something. Rock bottom is where you start building. My throat tightened. Jackson used to say things like that. Practiced lines delivered with perfect sincerity. But Serenity was different. She backed her words with action. A knock at my office door interrupted us. Hallie burst in, practically vibrating with excitement. Sorry to interrupt, but you need to see this now. She thrust her tablet at me. BuzzFeed just picked up Serenity's story. It's going viral. I scanned the article. From heroin to hope. How one woman's recovery journey is changing addiction treatment. They want to interview you too, Hallie added. The Tough Love Tech CEO revolutionizing rehab. This could be huge for Reclaim. Serenity's voice came through my speakers. Should I go? Let you handle this? No, I said quickly. This is your story, Serenity. We're just the platform you used to tell it. After finishing the call, I scrolled through the article's comments. Thousands of people sharing their own addiction stories, tagging friends, asking about Reclaim. Our server nearly crashed from the traffic. Your parents will see this, Hallie said quietly. Good. I closed the browser. Let them see what real recovery looks like. That night, I couldn't sleep. Memories I'd suppressed came flooding back, finding Jackson unconscious in his car outside a dealer's house, holding his hair back while he vomited after his first overdose, writing checks I couldn't afford, believing every tearful promise that this time would be different. My phone buzzed. A text from Paxton. Turn on CNN. There was Serenity, poised and powerful in her first national interview. No designer clothes or practiced speeches, just a woman in a thrift store blazer telling the truth. Reclaim worked because it didn't coddle me, she was saying. They demanded accountability, made me face my choices. No one can recover for you, not your family, not some luxury facility. You have to do the work yourself. The interviewer leaned forward. But isn't tough love risky? Couldn't refusing to help an addict lead to tragedy? Serenity didn't hesitate. Enabling kills more addicts than tough love ever will. I know. I buried 3 friends who had families that helped them to death. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I almost declined it until I saw the voicemail notification. Evangeline, it's Dad. Your mother doesn't know I'm calling. I saw the interview. The girl, Serenity, she reminded me of Jackson before everything. I just wanted to say, maybe you were right. I don't know how to finish that sentence. Just be careful. Success makes you a target. And your brother, he's not well. The message ended. I played it again, searching for hidden meanings, manipulations, threats. But all I heard was fear. Real fear. Another notification popped up, an email from our board. Subject: emergency meeting required. The preview showed just one line. Concerning multiple application attempts under various aliases, J. Harvey. My hand shook as I typed a response. Standard protocol. No exceptions. I opened my laptop and pulled up Serenity's latest check-in video. Watched her talk about her job interviews, her small victories, her honest struggles. She was building something real from her rock bottom, brick by boring brick. Meanwhile, somewhere in the city, my brother was creating fake identities, trying to game the system, just like always. My phone buzzed one more time. A text from Serenity. Hey, boss, guess what? Got the job. Starting Monday. Thanks for not saving me. Thanks for making me save myself. I stared at her message for a long time, thinking about salvation and consequences, about tough love and real love, about the fine line between revenge and justice. Finally, I texted back. You did the work, you get the credit. See you at tomorrow's check-in. Then I turned off my phone and tried to sleep, knowing tomorrow would bring new battles, new choices, new chances to prove that sometimes the cruelest thing you can do is help someone destroy themselves. The email arrived during my morning meeting. Subject line: emergency admission request. Sender: Jackson. Please, I'm ready now. 3 words that used to send me running to his rescue. Now, they just made me tired. Evangeline? Paxton's voice snapped me back to the conference room. The quarterly numbers? Right, I closed my email. We're seeing an 87% completion rate for users who make it past week 3, compared to traditional rehab's 30%. The door burst open. Hallie rushed in, face pale. They're here. Who's here? Your parents, lobby, security's stalling them, but I was already moving. Continue without me, I told Paxton. The elevator ride felt endless. Each floor dinged past like a countdown to inevitable collision. When the doors opened, I saw them immediately. Mom looking gaunt and shaky, Dad grey and stooped. They'd aged decades in months. You can't ignore us forever, Mom said as I approached. He's your brother. This is a place of business, I replied coolly. Do you have an appointment? Don't play corporate with me. Her voice cracked. Jackson's in trouble. Real trouble this time. When isn't he? Dad stepped forward. He's facing charges. Possession with intent to distribute. They found... Stop. I held up my hand. Whatever he's done, it's not my problem anymore. He submitted an application, Mom pressed, to your program. You have to... I don't have to do anything. The words came out sharp enough to make her flinch. Reclaim has a review board. Every application goes through the same process. We're not asking for special treatment, Dad said quietly. Mom whirled on him. Yes, we are. She's his sister. She has influence. She can watch her brother destroy himself? A new voice interrupted. Paxton stood behind me, arms crossed. Like you've been doing for years? Who are you to judge us? Mom snapped. I'm someone who actually got clean, Paxton said. No thanks to people like you who think love means enabling. Security approached, looking uncertain. I nodded at them. Please, escort my parents out, I said. They were just leaving. Evangeline, please. Mom grabbed my arm. Use your connections. Your clout. He'll die without help. I carefully removed her hand. He'll die with the wrong kind of help, too. You heartless bitch, she whispered. I hope you're happy in your glass tower while your brother suffers. Security moved in, but Dad held up his hand. We're going. He looked at me for a long moment. You look well, Evangeline. Successful. Don't compliment her, Mom hissed as they walked away. She's dead to us, remember? After they left, I returned to my office and opened Jackson's application. His answers were perfect. Textbook recovery speak. Just what we wanted to hear. Too perfect, Paxton said, reading over my shoulder. Classic manipulation. Flag it for the board, I said. Standard review process. Already done. He sat down across from me. They rejected him an hour ago. Multiple fake applications under different names triggered an automatic ban. My laugh came out hollow. He couldn't even be honest about asking for help. Your parents' visit wasn't a coincidence, Paxton said. They knew he'd be rejected. They came to pressure you. They came to remind me I'm the villain in their story. I closed my laptop. The cruel sister who won't save her brother. You can't save someone who's actively trying to game the system. Tell that to my mother. My phone buzzed. A news alert. Local dealer arrested, multiple charges. My heart stopped when I saw the address. It was 2 blocks from my parents' house. Another email popped up. From Jackson. If you don't help me, I'll tell everyone how you abandoned your own brother. How your precious company lets addicts die. How you're just a bitter bitch getting revenge. Forward that to legal, Paxton said quietly. We need to document everything now. I nodded numb. He's spiraling. Yes, and he's trying to drag you down with him. My phone rang, Serenity's number. I almost declined it, but something made me answer. Hey, boss. Her voice was steady, grounding. Heard there was drama in the lobby. You okay? No, I admitted, but I will be. Want to know what my family did when I was using? She asked. Everything yours is doing, enabling, threatening, guilt-tripping. Know where it got me? Nearly dead in a gas station bathroom. And now? Now they don't speak to me. Because I got clean on my terms, not theirs. She paused. Sometimes family is the price of survival. After we hung up, I sat in my office watching the city lights come on. Somewhere out there, my brother was plotting his next move. My parents were probably already crafting their next attack. But for the first time, their desperation felt like validation. They wouldn't be here if Reclaim wasn't working. They wouldn't be scared if I hadn't finally found my power. I forwarded Jackson's email to legal, then turned off my phone. Let them come. I was ready. The funeral home smelled like artificial flowers and regret. Marcus, Serenity's former sponsor, was dead. Overdose. The same demon he'd helped others fight had finally caught him. He had 10 years clean, Serenity whispered beside me, her voice raw. 10 years and 1 bad day took it all. I watched her twist the sobriety chip in her hands. 6 months clean. Such a fragile milestone, suddenly feeling more precarious than ever. The memorial photos showed a different Marcus than I'd known. Younger, healthier, surrounded by the people he'd helped. In one picture, he stood proudly outside his first apartment after getting clean. In another, he was speaking at a recovery meeting, eyes bright with purpose. He saved my life once, Serenity said, found me behind a dumpster, barely breathing. Instead of calling 911, he sat with me through withdrawal, said he wouldn't let the system swallow me up. The memory hit me like a punch, finding Jackson in his car, lips blue, needle still in his arm. I'd called 911 that time. Had to watch them Narcan him back to life while he fought them, cursed me, promised he'd never forgive me for ruining his high. Evangeline? Serenity touched my arm. You're shaking. I need air. Outside, the autumn wind cut through my blazer. I sank onto a bench, memories flooding back faster than I could suppress them. Jackson, 16, stealing mum's jewelry for drug money. Me, covering for him because he's just going through a phase. Jackson, 18, totaling his first car. Me, giving him my college savings to pay for repairs because he'll pay me back. Jackson, 20, overdosing at my graduation. Me, missing the ceremony to sit in the ER while mum blamed me for stressing him out with my success. Jackson, 24, stealing my identity to open credit cards. Me, working double shifts to pay off his debt because family protects family. Here. Serenity appeared with 2 paper cups of coffee. It hits harder at funerals, doesn't it? All the what-ifs. I destroyed my life trying to save his, I said, the words spilling out. My grades, my scholarships, my first business, all sacrificed on the altar of my brother's addiction. And they called it love. That's not love, she said firmly. That's slow suicide. Inside, the service was starting. Marcus's sister was speaking, her voice carrying through the open door. We thought love meant never giving up. But sometimes love means letting go. My phone vibrated. A text from Hallie. News alert. You need to see this. The headline made my coffee turn to acid in my stomach. Local man arrested in drug sting. Claims sister's recovery program denied him help. Jackson, I whispered. Serenity read over my shoulder. He's desperate. Cornered animals always bite hardest. Another text from Paxton. Board emergency meeting in 1 hour. Your brother's accusations are gaining traction. I have to go. I stood, hands still shaking. I'm sorry about Marcus. Don't be sorry, Serenity said. Be strong. What you built with Reclaim, it's what Marcus believed in. Real recovery, not enabling wrapped in family guilt. I looked back at the funeral home, at the photos of a man who saved others but couldn't save himself. At Serenity, holding her 6-month chip like a shield against the darkness. You know what the hardest part is? I asked her. Sometimes I miss him. The him before the drugs. The little brother who used to make me laugh, who drew me pictures, who looked at me like I could fix anything. That's the real tragedy of addiction, she said softly. It doesn't just kill people. It replaces them with shadows wearing their faces. My phone buzzed again. Mum this time. How dare you deny your brother help and then parade around at recovery events, pretending to care about addicts. You're a fraud and everyone will know it. I showed Serenity the message. She read it and handed the phone back with a sad smile. You know what Marcus told me once? He said, enabling isn't love, it's fear dressed up as loyalty. Real love is harder. Real love sometimes means watching someone hit bottom because that's the only way they'll look up. The wind picked up, scattering autumn leaves across the funeral home steps. Inside, people were sharing memories of Marcus, of lives he'd touched, of battles he'd helped others win, even as he lost his own. I have to face the board, I said, deal with Jackson's accusations. Go, Serenity squeezed my hand. Show them what real recovery looks like. Show them why we can't compromise, even for family. Especially for family. I walked to my car, leaving behind the scent of artificial flowers and the weight of what-ifs. Ahead lay another battle, another test of conviction. Marcus had lost his fight, but maybe, just maybe, his death could help me win mine. The media's having a field day, Hallie announced to the packed boardroom. Local news, social media, recovery blogs, they're all running with the story. Tech CEO denies own brother life-saving treatment. I sat silently as she clicked through screenshots. My brother's mugshot, my company headshot. Side by side comparisons that made us look like a modern Cain and Abel. Your brother's lawyers are pushing a narrative, our legal counsel explained. They're claiming Reclaim discriminates against applicants with criminal records. that we're elitist, hypocritical. Show them the applications, Paxton said. Hallie pulled up Jackson's multiple attempts. 5 different names, 5 different stories, each one more manipulative than the last. He wasn't rejected for having a record, I said finally. He was banned for lying, for trying to game the system. The public doesn't care about technicalities, a board member argued. They see a sister abandoning her brother. It's bad optics. Optics? Sorrenti's voice cut through the room. I hadn't even noticed her arrive. Is that what we care about now? Not actual recovery? Mrs. Webb, another board member began, while we appreciate your perspective. My perspective? Serenity laughed sharply. You mean my experience as someone who actually got clean, who went through this program honestly. Let me tell you about perspective. She walked to the front of the room, commanding attention despite her thrift store clothes and chipped tooth. Yesterday, I buried my sponsor. 10 years clean, then gone. You know what his family said? That they wished they'd been tougher, that they wished they'd stopped enabling him sooner. She pointed at Jackson's mugshot. This man doesn't want recovery. He wants a get-out-of-jail-free card. The board needs to vote, the chairman interrupted. Ms. Harvey, as CEO, you should recuse yourself. I stood. Agreed. But first, let me say something. All eyes turned to me. I took a deep breath, thinking of Marcus's funeral, of all the lives lost to well-intentioned enabling. Reclaim works because we don't compromise. Every success story we have, including Serenity, is built on that foundation. The moment we start making exceptions, we become just another broken system. Even if it costs you your brother? Someone asked. My brother was lost long before this, I said quietly. I'm not willing to lose everyone else we could help just to maintain the illusion that I can save him. I walked out, leaving them to vote. In the hallway, Paxton followed. Your mother's outside, he warned. Press 2. Of course she is. I checked my phone. 17 missed calls. What's she saying? The usual. That you're heartless. That you're punishing Jackson for old grievances. That you... He stopped as my phone rang again. Speaking of the devil, I muttered, showing him Mum's name on the screen. Put it on speaker, he suggested. I answered. Mum's voice filled the hallway, tight with fury. I hope you sleep tonight knowing you killed your brother. Is that what you tell yourself, Mom? That I'm killing him? Not the drugs, not the enabling, not your refusal to ever let him face consequences? He's facing consequences now. He's looking at real prison time. Good. The word came out before I could stop it. Maybe that's what he needs. How dare you? No, how dare you? How dare you blame me for finally saying no? How dare you show up here with cameras and accusations when you're the ones who've been helping him die slowly for years? Silence. Then, you're not the daughter I raised. Thank God for that. I ended the call. The boardroom door opened. Hallie emerged, face unreadable. Well? Votes in. They're backing you. Rejection stands. Relief flooded through me, followed immediately by guilt. What kind of sister feels relief at denying her brother help? The kind who knows the difference between help and enabling, Serenity said, as if reading my mind. The kind who's brave enough to be hated for doing the right thing. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from Dad. Your mother's wrong. You are exactly the daughter we raised. Strong. Principled. We just didn't expect those principles to ever turn against us. I showed Paxton the message. He read it and nodded slowly. He's starting to understand, he said. That's something. It's not enough, I replied, but my voice wavered. It never is, Serenity said, but it's a start. Through the windows, I could see Mum talking to reporters, playing her role perfectly, the desperate mother fighting a heartless system. but for the first time, her performance didn't touch me. "Ready to face the press?" Hallie asked. I straightened my jacket, thinking of Marcus, of Serenity, of all the people we could still help if we stayed true to our principles. "Yes," I said, "let's go tell the truth." The video went viral within hours. Jackson, wild-eyed and belligerent, fighting with police outside a convenience store. His voice slurred but clear enough. My sister thinks she's better than everyone with her fancy rehab program. She let this happen." I watched it for the third time in my office, each viewing hurting less than the last. "We need to respond," Hallie said, pacing behind me. "The press is—" "Look at this timestamp," I interrupted, pausing the footage. This was filmed yesterday, while Mom was outside our building crying to reporters about how desperately he wanted help. My phone lit up, Serenity calling. "Turn on TED Talks live stream," she said without preamble. "I'm about to go on." I switched screens just in time to see Serenity walk onto the red circle. Gone was the thrift store clothing, replaced by a simple black dress, but her chipped tooth still showed when she smiled. Perfectly, authentically imperfect. "6 months ago, I was dying," she began. "Not the dramatic Hollywood kind of dying, the slow, grinding kind that addiction specializes in. Today, I'm alive, not because someone saved me, but because someone refused to." The audience was silent, captivated. Reclaim didn't save my life by coddling me. They saved it by demanding I save myself, by showing me that rock bottom isn't a place, it's a choice to either keep digging or start climbing. My office door burst open. Paxton rushed in, tablet in hand. "Security breach," he said tersely. "Someone tried to hack our system, tried to create a fake profile using Serenity's ID." "Jackson?" "No." He showed me the logs. "Your father." I stared at the evidence. Clumsy but determined attempts to forge documents, to create a backdoor for Jackson using Serenity's success story as a template. On screen, Serenity was still speaking. "The hardest part of recovery isn't getting clean. It's staying clean when everyone who claims to love you keeps trying to drag you back into comfortable patterns of destruction." "What do you want to do?" Hallie asked quietly. "Document everything," I said. "Send it to legal and draft a statement." "Saying what?" I looked at Serenity on screen, standing tall and honest in her hard-won victory. Then, at the paused video of my brother, raging and broken in his chosen defeat. The truth. All of it. An hour later, I stood before a forest of microphones. At Reclaim, we believe in accountability, even when it's family, especially when it's family. My brother's addiction didn't happen in a vacuum. It was fertilized by enablers, myself included. For years, I wrote checks, made excuses, cleaned up messes, calling it love while watching him die. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. I held up my hand. Today, my family tried to hack our system, to steal another recovering addict's identity, to cheat their way into a program that only works because we refuse to cheat. They call this love. I call it what it is, abuse, of trust, of resources, of the very concept of recovery. My phone buzzed. Mum calling. I declined without looking. Reclaim isn't just a company. It's a promise. To every addict ready to do the work. To every family member brave enough to stop enabling. To everyone who understands that sometimes love means standing firm while someone you care about hits bottom. Later, alone in my office, I watched the statement go viral. Tough love works started trending. Testimonials poured in from families who'd made similar choices. Former enablers sharing their turning points. Then came the security alert. Another attempted breach. This time from an internet cafe near my parents' house. Amateur, desperate attempts to access our system. My phone lit up with a text from Dad. "Your mother doesn't know. I had to try something, anything. He's getting worse." Before I could respond, another alert popped up. A news update. Local man arrested for assault and drug possession after convenience store altercation. Jackson's mugshot stared back at me. No more wild eyes or slurred accusations. Just empty defeat. Serenity's TED Talk had ended. The standing ovation was still echoing through my speakers when she called. "You saw the news?" "Yes." "You okay?" I thought about it. Really thought. Yes, because for the first time, I'm not responsible for his choices. "Karma's a mirror," she said softly. "It shows people exactly what they've been." My email pinged. The daily reclaim success metrics. Completion rates up. Relapse rates down. Real people getting real help because we refuse to compromise. "Your brother?" Serenity said. "He'll hit bottom eventually." "I know. The question is, will you be strong enough to let him?" I looked at my phone. More missed calls from Mom. More desperate texts from Dad. Then, at my computer screen, where success stories scrolled past like stars in the darkness. "I already am," I said, and meant it. "You should see this place." Serenity's voice echoed through my car's speakers as I drove home. "We've got 3 floors now. Real beds, not just cots. A computer lab for job searches. It's everything we dreamed Reclaim could be." I smiled, picturing her giving tours of her new recovery centre. "Send pictures. I want to see what you've built." "What we built," she corrected. "None of this exists without you taking that first stand." Rain pelted my windshield as I pulled into my driveway. "How's the success rate?" 78% completion. No shortcuts, no exceptions, just like you taught me. Inside my house, I kicked off my heels and sank onto the couch. A dusty photo album caught my eye. One I hadn't opened since that night I walked away from my family. "Evangeline?" Serenity's voice softened. "There's something else. Something you should know." I opened the album. There we were, Jackson and me building sandcastles, Jackson and me racing bikes, Jackson and me before everything broke. "What is it?" "We got a new admission today. He registered under a fake name, but..." She paused. "It's Jackson." The album slipped from my hands, photos scattering across the floor. "He didn't try to game the system this time," she continued. "No manipulation, no shortcuts. He's just... here, doing the work." I bent to gather the photos, hands shaking. "Does he know you know?" "Yes. He asked me not to tell you. Said he needed to do this without family pressure, either positive or negative." A new text lit up my phone. Mum's latest attempt at contact. I deleted it without reading, just like all the others. "You might want to watch the evening news," Serenity added. "He gave an interview." I found the channel just in time. There was my brother, sitting in what looked like a group therapy room. No designer clothes, no practice charm, just Jackson, looking older and somehow smaller. "I spent years blaming everyone else," he was saying. "My sister, especially. It was easier than admitting I was the problem. But watching her build something that actually helps people, watching her choose truth over family loyalty, it broke something in me. Something that needed breaking." I muted the TV, fighting for breath. "He's different this time," Serenity said quietly. "I've seen enough recovery to know the real thing." Or maybe he's just better at faking it. Maybe. But that's not your burden anymore. You did the hardest thing. You walked away. Let him do the hard thing now. My doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Dad standing in the rain, alone. "I have to go," I told Serenity. "Someone's here." I opened the door. Dad looked older, greyer, but somehow lighter. I saw his interview, he said simply. So did I. Your mother, she's still, he trailed off. But I needed to tell you something. That night, when you walked away, you weren't the one who abandoned family. We were. The rain fell harder, but neither of us moved. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he continued, or reconciliation. I just wanted you to know you were right about everything. My phone buzzed again. A video message from Serenity. I opened it there, with Dad watching. The footage showed Jackson in a group session. My name is Jackson, he was saying, and I am an addict. Not because my sister wouldn't help me, not because my parents enabled me, because I chose to be. And now I'm choosing something else. Dad watched silently, tears mixing with rain on his face. He's really there? He asked finally. Yes, but this time we have to let him do it alone, like you did. He turned to leave, then stopped. I'm proud of you, Evangeline, not for your success, for your strength. After he left, I sat among the scattered photos, looking at the ghosts of who we used to be. My phone lit up one last time. Another deleted email from Mum. Some bridges stay burned, some wounds don't heal completely. But sometimes, that's the price of truth. I picked up a photo, Jackson and me, arms around each other, laughing at some forgotten joke. We looked happy. We looked whole. Maybe we'd never be those people again, but maybe we could be something else, something real, something earned. My phone rang. Serenity again. He's asking to make his first video check-in, she said. Standard protocol. No special treatment. Should I approve? I looked at the photo one last time, then set it aside. Yes, I said. Let him do the work. Outside, the rain began to ease. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new choices, new chances to choose truth over comfort. But for now, in this moment, karma had finally found its balance. And somewhere in Serenity's center, my brother was choosing to save himself. That would have to be enough.
I never meant to become my family's secret ATM, but that's exactly what happened, and now I'm sitting here staring at a foreclosure notice from 5 years ago, wondering if I've been the biggest fool alive. My name is Amber, and until today, I thought I was just being a good daughter, the responsible one, the frugal one, the boring one, according to my sister Jayla, who's currently holding court at her marble-countered kitchen island, waving her mimosa while describing her upcoming influencer trip to Bali. You should really come with us this time, Amber, Jayla says, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her glass. I mean, when was the last time you took a real vacation? I take a sip of orange juice, plain because someone needs to drive Mom and Dad home and force a smile. I'm good. Got some work projects coming up. Always working, Mom sighs, adjusting her new designer sunglasses. Honey, you're going to wake up one day and realize life passed you by. If they only knew. Every month for the past 5 years, I've been quietly transferring $2,400 to keep their house from being taken away. That's nearly $150,000 of my boring life choices. Speaking of passing by, Tanner chimes in, his arm draped around his girlfriend Julia. We're thinking about joining that Greece trip next month. The one you bailed on? Someone has to stay behind and clip coupons. Jayla snickers. Amber would probably rather buy bulk toilet paper than swim in Santorini. Everyone laughs. Even Dad, who should know better, joins in while helping himself to more of the expensive brunch spread that I'm sure Jayla charged to her already maxed out credit card. I just prefer being practical, I say, the words tasting bitter in my mouth. Speaking of which, Dad, did you need me to stop by later? You mentioned something about the house? He waves dismissively. No, all sorted. Just a minor repair thing. I notice Mom shooting him a quick look. After 5 years of watching their subtle signals, I've become fluent in their silent language of financial desperation. You sure? I don't mind. Oh, look at these photos from the spa day, Mom interrupts, pulling out her phone. Jayla treated me last weekend. Wasn't that sweet of her? Sweet. Right. The spa day that probably cost what I put into their mortgage account last week. The brunch drags on, a parade of humble brags and pointed jabs at my lifestyle. I sit through it all, mentally calculating how many overtime hours I've worked to keep their lights on while they plan their next luxury purchase. Later that evening, I drive them home. Mom's tipsy, going on about Jayla's natural gift for living life to the fullest. Dad's unusually quiet. I'll help you get her inside, I offer, pulling into their driveway. No need, Dad says quickly. You've done enough today. He has no idea how true that statement is. I should have left then. Should have driven straight home to my modest apartment with its sensible furniture and carefully budgeted life. Instead, I remember Dad mentioned needing his old drill, and I know exactly where it is, in his desk drawer in the garage. The garage is dim and cluttered when I enter. Dad's desk sits in the corner, a relic from his contractor days before everything fell apart. I pull open the drawer, and there it is, not the drill, but a stack of papers that makes my blood run cold. Foreclosure notices, bank warnings, final demands, all dated months before I started helping them. They knew. They'd known exactly how bad things were when they first started dropping hints about temporary financial help. My hands shake as I flip through the papers. They'd let me believe I was preventing a crisis, when in reality, I was cleaning up a mess they'd hidden from me. All while they watched me sacrifice, save, and strain, and mocked me for it. My phone buzzes. A text from Jayla. Thanks for coming to brunch, sis. BTW, Mom's treating us to a shopping spree tomorrow with her surprise bonus. Sure you don't want to join? Maybe we can find you something that isn't from the clearance rack. I stare at the message, then back at the papers in my hand. Mom's surprise bonus. My mortgage payment. Their jokes. My sacrifices. Something shifts inside me, like a gear finally clicking into place. I carefully return the papers to the drawer, close it softly, and walk out of the garage. For 5 years, I've been the family joke while being their financial savior. But as I drive home in my 6-year-old Honda, the one Tanner loves to call my starter car, I realize I'm not laughing anymore. And soon, neither will they. The bank statements spread across my dining room table tell a story, one that makes me sick to my stomach. 5 years of transactions, each one a reminder of how deeply I'd been played. Holy shit, Violet says, adjusting her glasses as she examines the papers. My best friend since law school has seen her share of financial disasters, but even she looks stunned. Amber, this is methodical exploitation. I point to a series of transfers. Look at these dates. Every time I increased the payment amount, they made a major purchase within weeks. New car for Tanner, Jayla's emergency spa weekend, Mom's kitchen renovation. They were counting on your payments, Violet says, her lawyer voice creeping in. Using them as guaranteed income while maintaining their lifestyle. Have you calculated the total? $144,800, I reply, the number burned into my brain, not counting the extra emergency amounts they'd ask for occasionally. My phone buzzes. Another text from Jayla. OMG sis, just landed my biggest influencer deal yet. Taking Mom to Aspen next month with her bonus. Don't worry, we'll send pics. I show Violet the message. Her expression darkens. Your mom's bonus is your money, isn't it? Has to be. She hasn't worked in 3 years. I sink into a chair. I feel so stupid. No, Violet says firmly. They're the stupid ones. They've left a paper trail a mile wide. What are you going to do? Before I can answer, my phone rings. It's Dad. Hey, sweetie, he says, his voice carrying that familiar note of forced casualness. Quick question. remember that little extra help you've been giving us? Any chance we could bump it up a bit? Property taxes are due, and with Tanner's new business venture, my throat tightens. What business venture? Oh, he's got a great opportunity. Something with cryptocurrency. Just needs some startup capital. I think about the foreclosure notices, about Jayla's texts, about 5 years of jokes at my expense. Actually, Dad, I wanted to talk about the mortgage payments. Silence on the line. Then, now's not a good time, honey. Can we discuss this later? Your mother's calling me. The line goes dead. Coward, Violet mutters. I pull up my banking app and start doing calculations. I could have bought my own house by now. Instead, I've been paying for theirs while they treated you like their personal piggy bank. Violet finishes. She pulls out her laptop. Let's document everything. Bank statements, text messages, emails, anything showing the pattern. We spend hours building the file. Every transaction tells another part of the story. My deposit dates matching their extravagant purchases, their carefully timed emergency requests coinciding with vacations and shopping sprees. My phone keeps lighting up with family messages. Mom, darling, have you seen Jayla's amazing news? She's doing so well. Wish you'd let yourself enjoy life a little more like her. Tanner. Hey sis, got a fantastic investment opportunity. Guaranteed returns. Need about $20K to get in on the ground floor. Let me know. Julia, Tanner's girlfriend. Girl, you should really join us for dinner soon. Tanner says you're amazing with financial advice. I silence the phone and look at Violet. They're never going to admit what they did, are they? People like this rarely do, she says, closing her laptop. But you have options. We can start with a formal demand letter. No, I interrupt, an idea forming. I want something more personal. What are you thinking? I pull up the family group chat where they're all gushing about Jayla's influencer deal and Mom's upcoming Aspen trip. They love an audience, I say, typing out a response. So I'll give them one. I'm going to suggest a family dinner to celebrate all our successes. Violet raises an eyebrow. You're going to confront them? Better. I hit send on my message. Let's do dinner at the house next Saturday, my treat. I have some exciting news to share. The responses flood in immediately. Mom, finally, are you seeing someone? Jayla, OMG, did you actually buy something fun? Tanner, free dinner? I'm in. They think I'm going to announce some life change they can mock, I explained to Violet. Instead, I'm going to show them exactly who's been keeping their perfect little world afloat. And then I look at the stack of evidence we've compiled, and then I'm going to let it sink. Violet grabs her purse, heading for the door. She pauses, turning back. Just be prepared. When people like this get exposed, they don't get sorry. They get mean. I nod, already knowing what's coming. But for the first time in 5 years, I'm not afraid of their reaction. I'm counting on it. The week before the dinner, I decide to dig deeper into the house records. What I find makes my previous discoveries look like pocket change. You've got to be kidding me, I mutter, staring at the county records website. 3 equity loans taken out on the house since I started paying the mortgage, all under Tanner's name. My brother, the eternal entrepreneur, had been using the house as his personal credit line while I kept the lights on. My phone rings, Mom calling. I almost ignore it, but something makes me answer. Honey, about Saturday's dinner, she starts, her voice syrupy sweet. I was thinking maybe we should do it at that new bistro downtown instead. The house is a bit, well, you know how your father gets about cleaning. No, Mom, it needs to be at the house. I keep my voice steady. Trust me. Well, if you insist. Though I don't know why you're being so mysterious about this announcement. You're not pregnant, are you? Because honestly, darling, in your situation, my situation, you know what I mean. Single, focused on work. We worry about you, sweetie. You work so hard, but what's it all for if you're not living? The irony almost makes me laugh. Almost. I'll see you Saturday, Mom. I hang up and pull up Instagram, where Jayla's latest post shows her lounging by a hotel pool. Sometimes you just need a mental health day. Self-care Sotsark blessed. The timestamp? Yesterday, when I was covering their property tax payment. A memory hits me. 3 years ago, right after Dad's contracting business failed. I just gotten a promotion and mentioned maybe buying a condo. Oh, honey, Mom had said, but who would help us with the house? We're not getting any younger, and you know how your father's pride works. He'd never accept help from strangers, but he'd accept it from me, as long as it was secret, as long as they could pretend. My doorbell rings. It's Tanner, unannounced as usual. Sis! He hugs me before I can stop him. Was in the neighborhood, thought I'd drop by. Really? This far from your usual spots? He laughs, making himself at home on my couch. Can't a brother visit? Actually, about that investment opportunity. The crypto thing? Better. NFTs. Ground floor opportunity. Just need some startup capital. He pulls out his phone. Look at these projections. How much? Just $25K. I know it sounds like a lot, but like the equity loans? The words slip out before I can stop them. He freezes. What? Nothing. I force a smile. Tell me more about these NFTs. He launches into his pitch, but his eyes keep darting around, nervous. He knows I know something. My phone pings with a notification. Jayla's posted again. Shopping therapy with my amazing mom. Blessed are our mother-daughter. Attached is a photo of them at some luxury boutique, Mom modeling an expensive-looking dress. Hey, Tanner says, noticing my expression. You okay? You seem different lately. Do I? Maybe I'm just tired of working so hard. He shifts uncomfortably. Yeah, you do work a lot. We worry, you know. All that stress isn't good for you. Funny how no one worried about my stress when I catch myself. Never mind. About that investment. Yeah? I'll think about it. His face lights up. Really? Because I already told some people you were in. I said I'll think about it. My tone makes him stand up. Right, well, let me know before Saturday. Speaking of which, what's this big announcement? Mom thinks you're either pregnant or joined a cult. I walk him to the door. You'll find out Saturday. After he leaves, I check my bank account. Another automatic transfer to their mortgage is pending. My finger hovers over the cancel button. Not yet. My phone buzzes again. A text from Julia. Hey, future sis. Tanner mentioned you might be helping with his new business venture. You're such an amazing sister. Can't wait for Saturday. I think about all the times I could have said no. All the times I almost did. The day I got approved for my own mortgage but canceled it because Mom called crying about their heating bill. The vacation I canceled when Tanner needed emergency car repairs. The savings account I drained when Dad's business failed. Each time, I convinced myself it was temporary. Each time, I told myself that's what family does. But family doesn't do this. I open my laptop and start preparing the files I'll need for Saturday. Bank statements, loan documents, property records, every receipt, every transfer, every lie. They wanted an announcement? They'll get one. And this time, I won't be the only one losing sleep over money. Amber? I look up from my coffee, and for a moment, I forget about Saturday's dinner, about bank statements, about everything. Because standing in front of me is Deacon, and he looks exactly the same as he did in college. I thought that was you, he says, smiling that crooked smile I used to dream about. Mind if I join you? I gesture to the empty chair at my cafe table. Still taking your coffee black? Some things never change. He sits down, setting his laptop bag aside. Though some things do. Heard you're some hotshot senior auditor now. And you're still stalking my LinkedIn? He laughs. Guilty. We're actually working in the same building. I saw you in the lobby last week, but you seemed Preoccupied. Probably the day I found the foreclosure notices. Yeah, just family stuff. Ah, his expression shifts. The famous Blake family drama, still playing ATM for them? I nearly choke on my coffee. How did you remember that night in senior year when you got that call from your mom about their heating bill? You canceled our weekend trip to cover it. He stirs his coffee. Some patterns are hard to break. You knew back then? I knew you deserved better than being their safety net. Still do. Something about his directness, his memory of that moment, breaks something loose inside me. Before I can stop myself, I'm telling him everything. The mortgage payments, the hidden foreclosure notices, the planned confrontation. Jesus, Amber. His knuckles are white around his coffee cup. That's not family, that's financial abuse. I know. I can't believe I let it go on so long. Because you're a good person. They weaponize that. He leans forward. So what's the plan? Besides this dinner showdown? I haven't thought past Saturday, honestly. Stop the payments, he says immediately. Cold turkey. Let them figure it out. But what? They sink? That's on them, not you. My phone buzzes. Tanner again. Sis, about that investment. Got some people really interested. Need an answer ASAP. Deacon reads the message over my shoulder and scoffs. Let me guess. Crypto or NFTs? Both, apparently. Classic. You know what's worse than enabling them? Enabling them while they mock you for being responsible? He's right. I know he's right, but they're still my family. Are they? He catches my eye. Because from where I'm sitting, they're just people who share your DNA and drain your bank account. My phone buzzes again. Mom this time. Darling, need to finalize numbers for Saturday. Jayla's bringing her new photographer friend to document your announcement. So exciting. They think I'm announcing something life-changing, I explain to Deacon. They have no idea. Oh, it'll be life-changing all right. He grins. Just not in the way they expect. For the first time in weeks, I laugh. Really laugh. God, I've missed you. Missed you too. He glances at his watch. I should head back to work. But listen. He pulls out a business card, writes something on the back. This is my personal number. If you need backup on Saturday or just want to talk, call me. I take the card, our fingers brushing. Thanks, Deacon. And Amber? He stands, gathering his things. Whatever happens Saturday, remember? You're not the bad guy here. They are. After he leaves, I sit there, turning his card over in my hands. My phone buzzes one more time. Tanner, hey, since you're treating Saturday, mind if I bring a few potential investors? Great networking opportunity. Also, can you make it that pasta thing you do? Julia loves it. P.S. Still need that answer about the investment. Tick-tock. I stare at the message, feeling something shift inside me. The same brother who took out secret equity loans on the house now wants to bring investors to dinner. The same brother who mocks my boring job wants my money for his schemes. I pick up my phone and type, sure, bring whoever you want. The more witnesses, the better. Then I pull out my laptop and open the folder labeled Saturday. Time to add a few more receipts to the pile. Because Deacon's right. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just the one who's finally done playing nice. My finger hovers over the mortgage payment account. One click, and I could stop it all now. Not yet. Let them have their last supper. Let them bring their photographers and investors and expectations. Let them think they still have me fooled. Saturday can't come soon enough. Everything's in here, Violet says, handing me a sleek black folder. Bank statements, property records, equity loan documents, text message screenshots, all chronological, all annotated. Even included a timeline of their purchases matched against your transfers. We're in her office, hours before the dinner. The folder feels heavy in my hands, weighted with 5 years of receipts and resentment. I still can't believe Tanner took out those equity loans, I say, flipping through the pages. 3 of them, Violet corrects. And guess what else I found? He's been subletting the pool house on Airbnb, pocketing the money while you pay the mortgage. My phone chimes. Mom, honey, we invited the Petersons too. Hope that's okay. They're dying to hear your news. The Petersons, Violet asks. They're country club friends? Mom's trying to turn this into a social event. I scroll through more messages. She's invited half the neighborhood. Perfect. Violet smirks. Bigger audience. My phone rings. It's Deacon. Just checking in, he says when I answer. Need any backup tonight? I think I've got it covered, but thanks. Call me after? I want to hear everything. After hanging up, I catch Violet's raised eyebrow. What? Nothing. Just nice to see you reconnecting with someone who actually cares about you. I check my watch. 2 hours until dinner. I should go get ready. Wait. Violet pulls something from her desk. Wear this. It's a crisp white blazer, elegant but powerful. Your court blazer? You're presenting evidence, aren't you? Might as well look the part. At home, I lay everything out. Violet's blazer, the black folder, my laptop with all the digital copies, a small voice recorder, Violet's suggestion, just in case. My phone keeps buzzing. Jayla. OMG, sis. My photographer friend is so excited. Should we do before and after shots of your announcement? Julia. Can't wait to hear your news. Tanner says the investors are super interested in meeting you. Mom. Darling, we're setting up the good china, and I got champagne for after your announcement. I take a deep breath and start getting ready. Hair smooth and professional. Minimal makeup. Violet's blazer fits perfectly. The folder goes into my laptop bag, along with a USB drive containing 5 years of digital records. I check everything 3 times. One last text comes through. From Dad. Your mother's very excited about tonight. Whatever you're planning, just be gentle with her. My hands shake as I read it. Does he know? Has he figured it out? Too late now. I grab my keys and head out. The drive to my parents' house feels surreal, like I'm watching someone else steer the car. Their driveway is already full of expensive vehicles. Looks like Mom really did invite everyone. Through the front window, I can see people milling around. Jayla's photographer friend is setting up lights. Tanner's talking animatedly to a group of men in business casual. Must be his investors. My phone buzzes one last time. It's Deacon. Remember, you're not the bad guy. Give them hell. I touch the folder in my bag, straighten Violet's blazer, and walk to the door. Before I can knock, it swings open. There's my baby! Mom pulls me into a perfumed hug. Everyone's been asking about you. Come in. Come in. The house is packed. I recognize the Petersons, some neighbors, faces from Mom's social circle. Jayla's holding court by the fireplace, posing for her photographer. Tanner immediately waves me over to his group. Sis, perfect timing. These gentlemen were just asking about investment opportunities. Later, I cut him off. Let's eat first. Mom claps her hands. Yes. Everyone to the dining room. Amber, darling, we put you at the head of the table. Since it's your special night, I follow the crowd into the dining room. The table is set with the good china, crystal glasses sparkling. Name cards mark each place. Fresh flowers everywhere. All paid for with my last mortgage payment, no doubt. Speech, someone calls out as we settle in. Tell us the big news. Yes, honey, Mom beams. Don't keep us in suspense. I look around the table. At Mom's expectant smile. At Dad's nervous eyes. At Jayla's camera-ready pose. At Tanner whispering to his investors. My hand touches my laptop bag. Actually, I say, standing slowly, I do have something to share with everyone. The room quiets. Phones come out to record. The photographer raises her camera. I unzip my bag and pull out the black folder. It's about the house, I continue, watching their faces, and some very interesting financial records I've found. Mom's smile flickers. Dad goes pale. Tanner stops mid-whisper. Time to burn it all down. Before I begin, I say, opening the folder, I want to thank everyone for coming, especially the Petersons. You've known our family for what, 20 years now? Mrs. Peterson nods, beaming. We wouldn't miss your big announcement for the world, dear. Perfect. Then you'll appreciate this story. I pull out the first document. It starts 5 years ago with this foreclosure notice. The room goes silent. Dad's hand tightens around his wine glass. Amber, Mom laughs nervously. Nobody wants to hear about boring paperwork. Tell them your news. This is my news. I place the notice on the table. See, 5 years ago, I started paying the mortgage on this house. Every month, like clockwork. $400. Jayla's photographer keeps snapping photos. I can see the exact moment realization hits my sister's face. But here's where it gets interesting, I continue, pulling out more papers. While I was keeping this roof over our heads, some fascinating purchases were being made. I start laying out bank statements, matching them with social media posts I'd printed. Here's my March payment, and here's Jayla's Aspen trip that same week. April payment, Mom's kitchen renovation, May payment, Tanner's new car. Amber, stop this right now, Mom hisses, but I'm not done. Oh, and these are special. I pull out the equity loan documents. 3 separate loans taken out against the house. The same house I've been paying for. Want to explain these, Tanner? My brother stands abruptly. This is ridiculous. We're here for a celebration. We are celebrating, I cut him off. We're celebrating the end of this arrangement. One of Tanner's investors clears his throat. Perhaps we should step out. No, please stay, I say. You should know who you're potentially investing with. Someone who takes out secret loans on property they don't pay for, then tries to scam his sister for crypto money. That's enough. Dad slams his hand on the table. Glasses rattle. You're right. It is enough. I pull out my phone, opening my banking app, which is why I just canceled the automatic mortgage payment. For the first time in 5 years, this house is your problem again. Mom starts to cry, her practiced theatrical sobs. How could you do this to us? To your family? Family? I laugh. Was it family when you mocked my boring lifestyle while spending my money? Was it family when you hid the foreclosure notice and manipulated me into paying your debts? Jayla stands up, wobbling slightly from wine. You're just jealous because I actually made something of myself. You made Instagram posts with my mortgage payments. My voice rises. Every time I transferred money to save this house, you were at a spa or on vacation or buying designer clothes. The photographer's camera keeps clicking. Good. Let her document this. Mrs. Peterson, Mom turns desperately to her friend. You see how she's treating us? After all we've done, all you've done? I pull out one final document. Here's the total, $144,800. That's what I've paid while you lived your Instagram perfect lives, while you called me boring, frugal, a workaholic. The room erupts in whispers. Tanner's investors are already heading for the door. The Petersons exchange horrified glances. And you know what the worst part is? I look directly at my parents. You knew. You knew exactly what you were doing. Every time you asked for money, every time you watched me cancel my own plans to cover your bills, every time you laughed at my cheap lifestyle, you knew. Julia, Tanner's girlfriend, suddenly stands. I think I should go. Stay, I tell her. You should see who you're really dating. A man who sublets the pool house on Airbnb while his sister pays the mortgage. More guests start to leave. Mom's mascara is running. Dad won't meet my eyes. Amber, Jayla tries one last time. You're making a scene. No, I'm making things clear. I close my folder. The payments stop now. The lies stop now. The manipulation stops now. I gather my things, feeling lighter than I have in years. Oh, and Mom, that champagne you bought for my announcement, put it on my tab. It'll be the last one. I walk toward the door, then turn back one final time. The table is a tableau of shocked faces, spilled wine, and scattered evidence of their betrayal. You know what's funny? All these years you thought I was boring because I was careful with money, because I worked hard and lived within my means. But the real joke? I could have had everything you pretended to have. I just chose to save your house instead. I straighten Violet's blazer. Dinner's over. Good luck with the mortgage. The photographer catches one last shot as I leave, head high, walking away from the ruins of their carefully constructed lies. Behind me, I hear Mom wail, "What will people think?" For the first time in 5 years, that's not my problem anymore. The aftermath hits in waves. First come the texts, a tsunami of family meltdown. "Mom, how could you humiliate us like this, after everything we've done for you? Jayla, hope you're happy. My photographer posted everything. My sponsors are dropping me. Tanner, you ruined my investment deals. This isn't over. Dad, we need to talk, please." I block their numbers one by one. Deacon shows up at my apartment an hour after the dinner, holding takeout and wearing a concerned expression. "Violet called me, said you might need a friend tonight." "Come in," I say, realizing I haven't eaten anything since morning. "It's done." "How bad?" "Nuclear." I take the food container he offers. Mom cried. Dad raged. Jayla's sponsors are apparently reviewing their contracts. Tanner's crypto investors fled. "Good." He sits beside me on the couch. "They deserved worse." My phone keeps lighting up with notifications. Emails now, since they can't text. "Mom, your father's blood pressure is through the roof. If anything happens to him, it's on your conscience." "Jayla, my social media manager quit. Thanks for destroying my brand, sis." "Julia, how could you do this to Tanner? He trusted you." "They're still trying to make me the villain," I tell Deacon, showing him the emails. "Block those too," he says. "They had 5 years of chances to do the right thing." A knock at the door makes us both jump. It's Violet, looking fierce in her court suit. "Came straight from work," she says, striding in. "The photographer posted the whole thing online. It's spreading fast in your parents' social circle." "How bad?" She pulls out her phone, showing me a local community Facebook group. There are already dozens of comments. "Can't believe the Blakes did this to their own daughter. No wonder they always had money for the country club. Those poor investors Tanner almost scammed." "Your mom's bridge club is particularly vocal," Violet says, almost gleefully. Apparently, she bragged last week about her upcoming Aspen trip. They're not happy learning where that money came from. My laptop pings an email from work. My hands shake as I open it. "What is it?" Deacon asks. "Tanner?" I read aloud. "He's telling HR I hacked the family finances, trying to get me in trouble at work." "Forward that to me," Violet says immediately. "I'll handle it. We have documentation proving every payment was legitimate." Another knock. This time it's Dad, looking older than I've ever seen him. "Amber, please," he starts, but Deacon steps between us. "She's not available," he says firmly. "I'm her father." "No," I say, finding my voice. "You're my former landlord, and I've moved out." Dad's face crumples. "The bank called, without your payment. Not my problem anymore." After he leaves, I sink onto the couch between Deacon and Violet. I need to get out of here for a while. Clear my head. "Use my beach house," Violet offers. "Take a week. Let the dust settle." "I'll drive you," Deacon adds quickly. My phone buzzes one last time. An Instagram notification. Jayla's photographer friend has posted the dinner photos with a lengthy caption. "Tonight, I witnessed a powerful moment of family truth. A story about financial abuse, gaslighting, and one woman's courage to expose it all." To the sister who funded their lifestyle while they mocked her choices. You're my hero. Sharp family drama. Justice. The receipts never lie. The post is going viral. Pack a bag, Deacon says, reading over my shoulder. You need space from this circus. While I'm throwing clothes into a suitcase, Violet handles the logistics of my temporary escape. She calls my boss, explaining the situation, sets up mail forwarding, arranges for my apartment to be watched. One last thing, she says, pulling out her laptop. Want to see the house listing? What house listing? Your parents. They posted it an hour ago. Urgent sale, immediate possession, possible. I look at the familiar facade, the manicured lawn I helped pay for, the pool house Tanner secretly rented out. You know what's weird? I zip up my suitcase. I don't feel guilty anymore. Deacon takes my bag. That's because you're free. As we head to his car, more emails flood in. Flying monkeys deployed by my family. How could you do this to your mother? Family matters should stay private. You've destroyed them. But for the first time in 5 years, their words have no power over me. Ready? Deacon asks, holding the car door. I look back at my apartment, then at my phone showing the endless stream of family fallout. Yeah, I say, deleting the emails without reading them. I'm ready to live my own life. The car pulls away, and I don't look back. Let them deal with their mortgage, their reputation, their consequences. I've paid enough. The beach house becomes my sanctuary, but karma doesn't take vacations. Your story's trending, Violet tells me over FaceTime. Someone posted it on Reddit. The comments are overwhelming. I'm sitting on the deck, watching waves crash while Deacon makes coffee inside. How bad is it? Not bad for you. People are calling you a hero. Your family, though. She winces. The internet is not kind to financial abusers. My laptop chimes with a new email from Jayla's biggest sponsor. Dear Ms. Blake, we're reaching out regarding your sister's influencer contract. Given recent events and evidence of financial misrepresentation, we're terminating our partnership effective immediately. That's the third one today, I tell Violet. Apparently, authenticity matters in influencer marketing. Speaking of authenticity, she says, have you seen the house listing updates? I pull up the real estate site. The price has dropped twice already. The description now reads, motivated sellers. All reasonable offers considered. They're desperate, Violet explains. The bank's pushing for immediate payment after those equity loans were exposed. Deacon comes out with coffee, catching the end of our call. After Violet hangs up, he sits beside me. Any regrets? He asks. Only that I didn't do it sooner. My phone rings. An unknown number. Usually I'd ignore it, but something makes me answer. Is this Amber Blake? A woman's professional voice. I'm a producer with National Public Radio. We're doing a story on hidden financial abuse in families, and your story has caught our attention. I look at Deacon, who nods encouragingly. Actually, I tell the producer, I think this is a story that needs to be told. The interview airs the following week. I tell everything. The manipulation, the mockery, the secret payments. The producer asks hard questions about family loyalty and financial boundaries. What would you tell others in your situation? She asks. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep toxic people warm. The response is immediate. My inbox fills with messages from others sharing similar stories. Daughters, sons, siblings, all trapped in cycles of financial abuse masked as family duty. Then comes the email from Julia. I left Tanner. After seeing those documents, how could I stay? He tried to convince me you were lying, but the proof was right there. Thank you for opening my eyes. Deacon reads it over my shoulder. One life saved already. Maybe more, I say, showing him another message, this one from Mrs. Peterson. Dear Amber, I've known your parents for 20 years. Play bridge with your mother every Thursday. After your revelation, I started questioning things. How many others had they manipulated? How many loans had they taken? I've spoken with the club board. Your mother's treasurer position has been reviewed. The house sells well below market value. I hear about it from the real estate agent herself, who reaches out specifically to tell me, your brother tried to block the sale, claiming partial ownership through those equity loans. The bank shut that down fast. Thought you should know, karma's real. Deacon brings me more coffee, then hesitates. Your dad called my office today. My stomach tightens. What did he want? To know if you'd reconsider. Said they've learned their lesson. He sits next to me. I told him lessons don't count if you're only sorry because you got caught. I check my email one last time before bed. There's a message from a journalist. Your story has sparked an important conversation about financial abuse in families. Would you be interested in contributing to a book about setting healthy monetary boundaries? I think about all the others out there, silently paying family bills while swallowing their pride. All the secret ATMs being drained by guilt and manipulation. Yes, I reply, I would. Deacon reads my response and smiles. From victim to advocate. Nice plot twist. Speaking of twists, I pull up my banking app. Look what I can afford now that I'm not paying someone else's mortgage. The down payment for my own house sits there, growing instead of shrinking. My money, my choice, my future. Ready to go house hunting? He asks. Actually. I close the laptop. I think I'll enjoy renting a little longer, build my savings, travel some, live the life they said I was wasting. My phone buzzes one last time. A text from Violet. Your mom's bridge club is using your story as a warning tale. Don't pull an Amber is apparently their new code for catching someone in a financial lie. Thought you'd appreciate the irony. I do appreciate it. Just like I appreciate the waves crashing outside, the coffee growing cold beside me, and the man who helped me find my voice sitting close enough to touch. You know what's funny, I tell him. I spent 5 years saving their home, but I ended up saving myself instead. He takes my hand, and I let him. Because that's the thing about breaking free. It makes room for something better to begin.
The worst decisions always start with a phone call at dinner time. I was just settling in with my sad but sensible microwave meal when Sarah's name lit up my screen, along with that photo of her and Diego at the beach from last summer. I almost let it go to voicemail. Almost. Malia, please don't hang up, she sobbed before I could even say hello. I don't know what else to do. I'm Malia, the responsible sister, the one who never needed bailing out, never caused drama, and always had her life together. At least that's what everyone said when they needed something from me. What's wrong? I asked, already feeling that familiar knot in my stomach. Is Diego okay? We're going to be homeless, Sarah choked out. The bank won't approve my mortgage without a cosigner. They're saying my income isn't stable enough, but I've been at this job for 8 months now. Diego and I will have to leave by the end of the month if I can't get approved. I set down my fork, dinner forgotten. Sarah, you know co-signing is a huge responsibility. If anything happens... I know, she cut in. But it's just until I can refinance in a year. Please, Mal. Diego's finally settled in his new school, made friends. I can't put him through another move, not after everything with Mark. My phone buzzed, a text from Madeline. Don't you dare answer that call. I know it's her. The payments would be less than what I'm paying in rent now, Sarah continued. I've done all the math. I just need your signature, that's all. Please don't make me beg. But she was begging. She always did. And it always worked. Let me think about it, I said. Send me the details first. There's no time, she insisted. The seller's giving me until tomorrow to secure financing. Please, can we meet? I have all the paperwork ready. I glanced at my laptop, where my own carefully planned budget spreadsheet was open. The emergency fund I'd built over 3 years of careful saving stared back at me. Where's the house? It's this cute little place in Riverside, Nothing fancy, just perfect for me and Diego. 2 bedrooms, small yard. Please, Mal, I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate. An hour later, Sarah was at my door with Diego in tow, manila envelope clutched to her chest. Diego's big brown eyes looked up at me hopefully as he hugged my waist. Aunt Malia, Mom says we might get to have a real house, he said, with a backyard and everything. Sarah spread the papers across my kitchen table, pointing out numbers and terms I already understood better than she did. It's literally what I teach for a living. But something felt off about the urgency, the pressure. My phone buzzed again. Madeline. Whatever she's asking, the answer is no. I watched Diego sitting on my couch, homework spread out beside him, looking so much smaller than his 10 years. I thought about him changing schools again, losing more stability. Where do I sign? I heard myself say. Sarah's eyes welled up with tears as she pointed to the lines. You're saving us, Mal. I'll never forget this. Later that night, after they left, I decided to review the copies of the paperwork more carefully. That's when I saw it. The property address, not Riverside, Beachview Estates. My hands shook as I pulled up the listing online. 3 bedrooms, ocean views, luxury finishes throughout. Listed at nearly twice the amount Sarah had told me about. My phone buzzed one final time. Madeline again. Tell me you didn't. I stared at the screen, then at the papers, then at my own signature binding me to my sister's lies. Again. I did, I texted back, but this time is different. That's what you said last time, Madeline replied instantly. And the time before that. She was right. But something inside me had shifted. Maybe it was the casual way Sarah had lied about the house. Maybe it was Diego's hopeful face being used as emotional ammunition. Or maybe, just maybe, I'd finally had enough of being the responsible one who always paid the price for my sister's dreams. I picked up my phone and took a picture of the real estate listing. Then I opened my banking app and looked at my emergency fund one last time. I had a feeling I'd be needing it soon. What I didn't know then was just how expensive karma could be, for both of us. 3 weeks after signing those papers, I was working late at the community college, trying to squeeze in extra financial literacy workshops to pad my savings. The irony wasn't lost on me, teaching others about responsible money management while my own financial future dangled by a thread tied to Sarah's promises. My phone pinged. Madeline had sent a link. You need to see this, now. I clicked, and my stomach dropped. Sarah's Instagram feed filled my screen. There she was, wrapped in the arms of a tall, tan stranger, both of them grinning in front of the Eiffel Tower. The caption read, "When you meet your soulmate and he whisks you away." Spontaneous love, European adventure. The post was dated 4 days ago. My hands trembled as I scrolled through more photos. Sarah in Santorini, the white buildings gleaming behind her. Sarah on a yacht off the Amalfi Coast. Sarah and the mystery man, tagged as Graham Lewis, sharing wine in Tuscany. My phone rang. Madeline. "Before you say anything," she started, "I only found this because Diego's dad Mark called me looking for Sarah. He was supposed to pick Diego up 3 days ago, but Sarah's mom said she's away on business." "Business?" I laughed bitterly. "Unless she's conducting meetings from Mediterranean beach clubs, I don't think that's accurate." "There's more," Madeline said quietly. "Check her Facebook stories." I did. There was Sarah, dancing in a trendy Paris nightclub, diamond tennis bracelet glinting on her wrist. "Best gift ever, from the best man ever, Graham Lewis, blessed." The timestamp showed it was posted just hours after she'd texted me. "Money's a little tight this month, but I'll make the first mortgage payment. Promise." "I'm coming over," Madeline declared, "with wine, lots of wine." 20 minutes later, we sat on my couch, piecing together Sarah's European adventure timeline through her social media breadcrumbs. "Look at the dates," Madeline pointed out. "She booked these flights barely a week after you co-signed. The money for the down payment probably went to first-class tickets instead," I finished, taking a long sip of wine. And who knows where she got the rest? New boyfriend, maybe? My phone lit up with a text from Diego. Aunt Malia, when is Mom coming home? Grandma won't tell me. My heart cracked. I don't know, buddy, I typed back. But I'm here if you need anything. This ends now, Madeline said, grabbing my laptop. We're documenting everything. Screenshots, dates, locations. If she's misused those loan funds... It's fraud, I whispered, the realization hitting me hard. She committed mortgage fraud, and I helped her do it. No, Madeline corrected sharply. She committed fraud. You were deceived. There's a difference. I pulled up my banking app, checking my savings again, already drained from covering the down payment emergency Sarah had claimed 2 weeks ago. I can't believe I fell for it. Again. Stop beating yourself up, Madeline said, still screenshotting Sarah's social media spree. Start getting even. My phone pinged again, a group chat message from Mom. Sarah's having the most amazing time. She really needed this break. Isn't it wonderful she's finally found happiness? I stared at the message, then at the photos of my sister living it up across Europe, while her son wondered when she was coming home. Something cold and hard settled in my chest. You know what? I said, reaching for my laptop. I think it's time I paid a visit to the bank. I still have a friend there who might be interested in these photos. The ex? Leo. Madeline raised an eyebrow. The one who warned you about Sarah's credit history last time? The very same. I started composing an email. He's a mortgage officer now, and I think he'd be very interested to know how his bank's money is being spent on French nightclubs and Italian yachts. Malia, Madeline said slowly, are you sure? This could destroy her. I thought about Diego's text, about my drained savings, about years of being the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who always had to fix everything. She destroyed herself, I replied, attaching the first batch of photos to the email. I'm just making sure she can't take me down with her this time. As I hit send, another notification popped up. Sarah had just posted a new photo. Living my best life. Next stop, Monaco. Shiran blessed, Shira, no regrets. No regrets, I muttered, opening my email again. We'll see about that. Leo hadn't changed much in 7 years. Same warm brown eyes, same habit of running his hand through his hair when he was thinking. The only difference was the wedding ring I spotted as he shuffled through papers on his desk. So, he said, glancing up at me, you want to know about interest rate policies? Actually, I took a deep breath. I need to talk about my sister Sarah's mortgage, the one I co-signed. His expression shifted instantly. Malia, I know what you're thinking, I cut in. You warned me about her credit history years ago. I should have listened. That's not. He stopped, sighing. Look, as your ex, I want to say, I told you so. But as a mortgage officer, I need to know what's wrong. I pulled out my phone and showed him the photos. His eyebrows rose higher with each swipe. These are all from the past 2 weeks? He asked, leaning forward. After the loan disbursement? Yes, and there's more. I opened my email. She claimed the house was in Riverside, showed me paperwork for a modest 2-bedroom, but the actual property is in Beachview Estates. Leo's professional demeanor cracked. Jesus, Malia, that's not just a discrepancy. That's deliberate misrepresentation. I know, and I have proof she doctored the paperwork she showed me before I signed. I pulled out the documents. The question is, what can I do about it? He stood up, closed his office door, and sat back down. Officially, I need to tell you to contact our fraud department. Unofficially, he lowered his voice. Let me check something first. While Leo typed at his computer, my phone buzzed. A text from Diego. Aunt Malia, can you help me with my math homework? Grandma doesn't understand fractions. Of course, buddy, I replied, my heart aching. I'll video call you in an hour. Found it, Leo said suddenly. Sarah's income verification. Something's not right. These consulting fees she claimed? He turned the screen toward me. They're from a company that didn't exist when these payments were supposedly made. What does that mean? It means, he said carefully, that if someone were to flag these inconsistencies, it would trigger an automatic investigation. My phone pinged again. Sarah had posted another photo. Monte Carlo dreams. Thanks for the casino tips. Graham Lewis. Winning streak. I showed Leo the post. She's gambling with loan money while her son stays with our mother. Malia, Leo leaned forward, his voice gentle. If I flag this for review, it opens a whole investigation. It could affect Diego, too. Are you sure you want to? Check my tablet, I interrupted, pulling it from my bag. Sarah's email is still logged in from when she used it last month. Look at these wire transfers. Leo scrolled through the documents, his frown deepening. These transfers, they're structured to avoid reporting requirements. And this Graham Lewis person she's with, his name's coming up in some concerning patterns. What do you mean? I can't say much, but... He hesitated. He's been involved in several failed investment schemes. Nothing proven, but... My phone lit up with a family group chat message. Mom, Sarah says she's extending her trip another week. Isn't it wonderful she's found someone who treats her like the princess she is? I felt something snap inside me. What do you need from me to start an investigation? Just an official statement of concern from you as co-signer, Leo said. But Malia, think carefully. This could destroy her, I finished. Maybe it should. She's been destroying everyone else for years. Leo nodded slowly, then picked up his desk phone. Let me make a call. While he spoke quietly into the phone, I checked my banking app again. The emergency fund I'd spent years building was almost gone, all because I'd believed Sarah one last time. My tablet pinged, an email notification from Sarah to Graham. Baby, the bank keeps calling about income verification. What should I do? Can you help me make those documents look better like last time? I wordlessly turned the tablet toward Leo, who was just hanging up the phone. His eyes widened as he read. He shook his head. That's explicit admission of intent to defraud. So what happens now? Now? He started typing rapidly. Now I have to file an official report. The bank will launch a full investigation. They'll freeze the loan, possibly the property. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from Sarah. Hey sis, having the most amazing time. Quick favor, can you send me $2,000 just until my next consulting check comes in? You're the best. I looked at Leo, then at the evidence spread across his desk, then at my sister's smiling face in her casino photos. Do it, I said quietly. File the report. As Leo reached for the forms, I felt no satisfaction, no triumph, just a bone-deep weariness, and the certainty that sometimes doing the right thing feels exactly like revenge. Are you absolutely sure about this? Madeline asked, watching me organize the evidence into folders on my laptop. Once you hit send, there's no going back. I was sitting cross-legged on my living room floor, surrounded by printed screenshots and bank statements. The email to the fraud department was open on my screen, cursor blinking on the send button. Look at this, I said, holding up my phone. Another Instagram post from Sarah. When he surprises you with a shopping spree at Chanel. Blessed Chiracha spoiled rotten. That bag costs more than the monthly mortgage payment she skipped, Madeline noted, peering at the photo. My phone rang. Mom's name flashed on the screen. Don't answer it, Madeline warned. I did anyway. Hi, Mom. Malia, have you spoken to Sarah lately? Her voice was sharp with worry. The bank called her about some review of her loan application. She's very upset. Is she? I kept my voice neutral. That's interesting, considering she's been posting about shopping sprees in Monaco. Don't be bitter, dear. She's finally happy. And Graham is such a wonderful man. So generous. Mom, I cut in, has she told you where Diego is? A pause. He's perfectly fine with me. Sarah needed a break. A break? I stood up, pacing. She abandoned her son to party across Europe with a man she barely knows, using money she got through fraud. Fraud? Mom's voice went cold. What are you talking about? What did you do? What did I do? I laughed. Check your precious daughter's social media. Look at the dates. Look at where she's spending money that was supposed to be for Diego's home. You're just jealous, Mom snapped. You always have been. Ever since we had to use your college fund to help Sarah after her accident. Wait, what? I stopped pacing. What college fund? The line went silent. Mom? What college fund? I shouldn't have mentioned that. It was a long time ago. Tell me, she sighed. Your father set aside money for both of you. When Sarah had her car accident senior year, she needed it more than you did. You were already getting scholarships. My hands shook as I opened another folder on my laptop. That's why Dad's inheritance letter mentioned an adjusted distribution, isn't it? She'd already taken my share. Malia, I hung up. What college fund? Madeline asked quietly. Instead of answering, I turned to my laptop and started typing. To whom it may concern, I am writing to report suspected mortgage fraud regarding loan 84392. I attached every screenshot, every bank statement, every piece of evidence I'd gathered. Then I added one final paragraph. The attached social media posts demonstrate that the borrower, Sarah Murphy, is currently using loan funds for international travel and luxury purchases, while the mortgage property remains vacant. Furthermore, I have evidence of intentional misrepresentation of income and deliberate manipulation of loan documents. My phone buzzed with texts. Mom, please don't do anything rash. Sarah, the bank keeps calling. What's going on? Diego, Aunt Malia, when is Mom coming home? I added the email exchanges between Sarah and Graham about doctoring documents, then attached the wire transfer records. Malia, Madeline said softly, this will destroy her credit, her financial future. She destroyed mine first, I replied, thinking of the college fund I never knew about. Multiple times. I hit send. Within minutes, my phone exploded. Sarah, they're freezing the loan. What did you do? Mom, answer your phone right now. Sarah, please tell me you didn't report anything. I can explain everything. Mom, how could you do this to your sister? I turned off my phone and opened my banking app one last time. My savings were almost gone, but my credit was still intact, for now. I had just enough left to hire a lawyer. What's next? Madeline asked. I pulled out a business card Leo had given me. Now I call this attorney who specializes in mortgage fraud cases. Leo said she can help protect me as a co-signer who was deceived. And Sarah? I looked at the printed Instagram photos spread across my floor. My sister living her best life, while her son did fractions with his grandmother. Sarah gets to learn what consequences feel like, I said, picking up my phone to make the call. For once in her life, she gets to face reality. As I dialed the attorney's number, my tablet pinged with one final email notification. Sarah to Graham. Baby, everything's falling apart. What do we do? His response came seconds later. Sorry, babe. Can't help. Got my own problems. Good luck. Karma, it seemed, was right on schedule. The door to my apartment burst open without warning. Sarah stood there, mascara streaked down her face, still wearing designer clothes from her European adventure. How could you? She screamed. My own sister! Mom appeared behind her, arms crossed. We need to talk, Malia, now. I stayed seated at my kitchen table, keeping my voice steady. Did you enjoy Monaco, Sarah? The shopping sprees? The yacht parties? You don't understand, Sarah sobbed, dropping into a chair. Graham promised to help with the payments. He said he had investments. Where is Graham now? I asked quietly. Sarah's face crumpled. He's not answering my calls. Of course he isn't, I said. Because he never had any money, did he? Leo checked. He's been involved in schemes like this before. Leo? Mom cut in. You went to your ex about this? instead of coming to family? I laughed bitterly. Family? Like when you and Sarah went to my college fund without telling me? Mom paled. Sarah looked confused. That was different, Mom stammered. Sarah always needs. I stood up, my calm finally breaking. She always needs, and I'm always expected to give. Well, guess what? I'm done giving. I'll lose everything, Sarah whispered. The house, my credit, the house you lied about, the credit you were willing to destroy mine for. I pulled out my phone. Let's talk about Diego. Sarah flinched. He's been texting me every day, I continued, asking when his mom's coming home, struggling with math homework, missing his friends because he can't have them over to Grandma's house. Don't you dare question my parenting, Sarah snapped. You don't have children. You don't understand. No, you don't understand. I slammed my hand on the table. This isn't about parenting. It's about fraud. It's about theft. It's about years of manipulation and lies. We can fix this, Mom pleaded. Just call the bank, tell them it was a mistake. There's nothing to fix, I said, pulling out a folder. The investigation is already underway. The lawyer says, You got a lawyer? Sarah shrieked. Against your own sister? No, I got a lawyer to protect myself from my sister. There's a difference. My phone buzzed. A text from Madeline. Need backup? Not yet, I typed back. What happens now? Mom asked, her voice small. Now? I opened the folder. Now Sarah explains these wire transfers, and these doctored income statements, and these emails about faking documents. Sarah's face went white. How did you get those? You left your email logged into my tablet. Sloppy, just like everything else. I'll go to jail, Sarah whispered. Probably not, I replied. But you'll face consequences. Real ones, for once. Mom stepped between us. This isn't you, Malia. You're not this cruel. Cruel? I stood up slowly. Was it cruel when Sarah took my college fund? When she lied about the house? When she abandoned her son to party across Europe? I didn't abandon. Save it. I cut her off. Diego's dad called me yesterday. He's filing for full custody. Sarah collapsed into tears. Mom rushed to comfort her, of course. Some things never change. My phone buzzed again. Leo. Bank investigators want to meet tomorrow. You okay? I'm fine, I texted back. Just finishing some family business. Malia, please. Sarah looked up, eyes wet. I'll do anything. Just call off the investigation. That's not how this works, I said. Actions have consequences. Isn't that what you always told Diego? You've ruined everything, Mom burst out. Are you happy now? I looked at them both, my sobbing sister in her expensive clothes, my enabling mother with her willful blindness. For the first time, I felt nothing but pity. No, Mom, I'm not happy, but I'm done being the family ATM, done being the responsible one who pays for everyone else's mistakes. So what now? Sarah asked quietly. Now? I gathered my documents. Now I have a meeting with bank investigators tomorrow, then a lawyer, then probably more meetings. And me? You? I paused at my bedroom door. You get to grow up, finally. This will tear the family apart, Mom said. I turned back one last time. No, Mom, Sarah's lies did that. I'm just done pretending they didn't. As I closed my door, I heard Sarah's phone ping. Her sob told me Graham had probably just blocked her number. My own phone lit up with a text from Diego. Aunt Malia, Dad says I'm staying with him for a while. Is Mom in trouble? I stared at the message, thinking carefully before replying. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, buddy, but I'll always be here for you. It wasn't a lie. It wasn't even revenge anymore. It was just, finally, the truth. The bank's conference room felt colder than it needed to be. I sat between my lawyer, Patricia, and Leo, facing 3 stern-faced investigators. On the table between us lay a stack of documents that told the story of my sister's deception in black and white. These consulting invoices, the lead investigator said, tapping a paper. were created using templates from a company that didn't exist until 3 months after the dates listed. Graham helped me with those. Sarah's voice crackled through the speakerphone. She'd refused to fly back for the meeting. He said it was normal, that everyone does it. Ms. Murphy, Patricia interrupted, I advise you not to continue that line of explanation. Admitting to knowingly falsifying loan documents, I just needed a home for my son. Sarah's voice broke. The female investigator raised an eyebrow. Is that why you spent $23,000 at luxury retailers in Paris 2 weeks after the loan disbursement? Silence from the speakerphone. And these wire transfers, the third investigator added, appear to be structured specifically to avoid reporting requirements. Can you explain that? More silence. My phone vibrated. A text from Mom. The bank is seizing Sarah's accounts. How could you let this happen? I turned my phone face down as Leo slid another document across the table. We've also discovered something concerning about the initial inheritance distribution, he said quietly. My head snapped up. What? The lead investigator picked up a paper. It appears there was a joint savings account established by your father before his death. According to these records, Sarah withdrew $15,000 from it in 2018 using a power of attorney document that, he paused, frowning, appears to have been notarized after your father's death. The room spun. What are you saying? The signature date on the power of attorney is 3 weeks after your father passed away, Leo explained gently. It's not valid, which means the withdrawal was theft, Patricia finished, plain and simple. The speakerphone crackled. I needed that money. Mom said it was okay. Mom knew? My voice came out strangled. She signed as the witness, the female investigator confirmed, showing me the document. My phone buzzed again. Mom, it was for her good. She needed help after her accident. You were always the strong one. I've seen enough, Patricia said, standing. My client was clearly deceived on multiple fronts. We'll be pursuing full dissociation from the fraudulent loan and pressing charges for the inheritance theft. No! Sarah's voice broke through. Malia, please, I'll pay it back. With what money? I asked quietly. The money you spent in Monaco? Or the money you stole from me while Dad was dying? Leo touched my arm gently. There's more. The investigators laid out the full scope of Sarah's deception. Faked pay stubs, forged employer letters, even a fictitious rental history. All crafted with Graham's help, all designed to secure a loan she could never repay. Where is Graham now? I asked. We've flagged his details for the relevant authorities, the lead investigator said diplomatically. He appears to have done this before. My phone lit up with a call from Diego's dad. I excused myself to answer it. Malia, Diego's asking about visiting Sarah this weekend, but I can't reach her or your mom. Mark, I said carefully, there's something you should know. When I returned to the conference room, Patricia was outlining next steps. The bank will foreclose on the property, she explained. Given the evidence of fraud, they'll pursue full recovery of funds. Your liability as co-signer should be cleared once the investigation concludes. And Sarah? Leo looked down at his papers. The bank is required to report this to federal authorities. Given the amount involved and the deliberate nature of the fraud, she's looking at serious consequences, Patricia finished, both civil and potentially criminal. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from Sarah. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything. I thought about the inheritance I never knew existed. About Diego doing homework at my kitchen table while his mother posted yacht photos. About years of being the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who always had to fix everything. No, I typed back. You destroyed everything. I just stopped covering for you. The lead investigator cleared his throat. Ms. Murphy, we'll need you to sign these statements. As I signed paper after paper, each one documenting another piece of Sarah's deception, I felt no triumph, just a bone-deep exhaustion and the weight of years of lies finally coming to light. What happens now? I asked Patricia as we left the bank. She gave me a measured look. Now we make sure justice is served for both the fraud and the theft. And Sarah? Sarah, Patricia said firmly, gets to learn that karma doesn't accept designer handbags as payment. The bank's official letter arrived on a Tuesday. 10 days. That's all Sarah had to provide documentation or face repossession and legal prosecution. I hadn't even finished reading it when my doorbell rang. Sarah stood there, mascara running, clutching a stack of papers. Gone were the designer clothes and perfectly styled hair. She looked smaller somehow, broken. "They're going to arrest me," she choked out, pushing past me into the apartment. "The bank, the FBI, everyone's investigating. Graham's gone, his phone's disconnected. I can't even access my accounts." "Sit down," I said quietly. "You have to help me," she pleaded, dropping onto my couch. "Tell them you made a mistake. Tell them what, Sarah?" I opened my laptop. "That these photos of you gambling in Monaco are fake? That these wire transfers are forged? That Dad's power of attorney wasn't backdated?" She flinched at each accusation. "I was going to pay it all back. Graham had a plan." "Graham had a history of fraud," I cut in. "Leo found 6 other cases where he did exactly this. He used you, Sarah, just like you used me." "That's not fair. I needed—" "You always need." I pulled up the inheritance documents. "Look at these. Really look at them. You and Mom forged Dad's signature while he was dying. You stole my inheritance while I was planning his funeral." Sarah's face crumpled. "Mom said it was okay. She said you'd understand." "Understand what? That my sister and mother conspired to steal from me? That you abandoned your son to party across Europe with a con man?" "Don't bring Diego into this." "Why not?" "You did when you used him to manipulate me into co-signing." "We'll be homeless, Malia. Think of Diego." I mimicked her desperate plea from that night. "I'm his mother." "No," a new voice said from the doorway. "Right now you're a fraud suspect who abandoned her child." We both turned. Mark stood there with Diego, who looked smaller than his 10 years. "Mark," Sarah stammered, "I can explain." "Save it for the judge," he said firmly. "I filed for emergency custody this morning." Diego stepped forward, his voice quiet. "Mom, why did you leave me?" Sarah reached for him, but he backed away. "Baby, I didn't leave you. I just needed a break." "A break?" I pulled up her Instagram. "Here's you at the Eiffel Tower. Here's your new Chanel bag. Here's you on a yacht while your son wondered why his mom disappeared." "Diego, please," Sarah begged. "Tell them I'm a good mother." But Diego just stared at the floor, clutching his backpack. "We should go," Mark said gently. "Diego, say goodbye to your aunt." Diego hugged me tight. "Thanks for helping with fractions," he whispered. After they left, Sarah collapsed into tears. "What am I going to do? They're taking everything." "No, Sarah, you took everything. From me, from Diego, from everyone who trusted you. Please," she sobbed. "One more chance. I'll do anything." I walked to my desk and pulled out an envelope. "Here." She opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a savings bond in Diego's name. "That's what's left of my emergency fund," I said quietly. "Not for you, for him. For college, or whatever he needs, something you can't touch." "You're really not going to help me?" "I am helping you," I replied, "by finally letting you face consequences." My phone buzzed, a text from Leo. "FBI wants to interview Sarah tomorrow. Is she back in town?" Sarah's phone chimed at the same moment, probably the same message from the bank. She stood up, suddenly angry. "You've ruined my life, my own sister." "No," I said firmly. "You ruined your life. I just stopped enabling it." "Mom was right. You're jealous. You've always been jealous of me." I laughed, a hollow sound. "Jealous of what? Your fraud charges? Your abandoned child? Your empty bank accounts?" She stormed toward the door, then turned back. When this is all over, don't expect forgiveness. When this is all over, I replied, don't expect me to care. The door slammed behind her. My phone buzzed again. Mom. Sarah's hysterical. How could you be so heartless? Mark. Thank you for everything. Diego needs stability right now. Leo. You okay? Want to grab coffee tomorrow? Madeline. Just heard from Sarah. You did the right thing. I looked at the empty savings bond receipt on my desk, then at the family photo still hanging on my wall, taken before the lies, before the theft, before everything fell apart. Sometimes, I typed back to Madeline, doing the right thing feels exactly like losing everything. But as I heard Sarah's car screech away, I realized I hadn't lost everything. I'd just finally stopped carrying everyone else's losses. The courtroom felt smaller than I expected. Sarah sat at the defendant's table, wearing the same black dress she'd worn to Dad's funeral. Mom wasn't there. She'd stopped speaking to me after Sarah's arrest. The defendant has agreed to the plea arrangement, the prosecutor announced. Full restitution of fraudulently obtained funds, plus the inherited amounts taken through deceptive means. I watched Sarah's shoulders shake as the judge listed the conditions: probation, mandatory financial counseling, supervised visitation with Diego. The word guilty echoed through the chamber when she spoke it. My phone vibrated, a text from Leo. Still on for dinner tonight? Wouldn't miss it, I typed back, smiling slightly. The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. Ms. Murphy, do you understand these terms? Sarah nodded, then turned to look at me. For the first time since this started, I saw something real in her eyes. Not manipulation, not fake tears, just raw understanding. Outside the courthouse, she caught up to me. Malia, wait. I stopped but didn't turn. I found this in Mom's attic, she said, holding out an envelope. It's Dad's real letter about the inheritance, the one I hid. My hands shook as I opened it. Dad's familiar handwriting filled the page. My dearest Malia, you've always been the responsible one, the one who carries everyone else's burdens. Sometimes I wonder if we did you a disservice, expecting so much while asking so little of Sarah. He knew, Sarah said quietly, about everything, about who I really was. Why are you showing me this now? Because, she swallowed hard, because Diego asked me why I never say sorry and mean it. A car pulled up, Mark bringing Diego for the supervised visit. The boy ran to his mother, then stopped, looking uncertainly at me. It's okay, buddy, I said softly. Go ahead. As they walked toward the visitation center, my phone buzzed again. A text from Madeline. Your sister's story is trending in my financial literacy group. People are calling you brave. Brave? Was that what this was? Leo appeared beside me, coffee in hand. Ready to go? Almost. I pulled out my own envelope. Need to mail this first. It was addressed to Diego, another savings bond, this one from the restitution money. On the card I'd written, sometimes doing the right thing is the hardest thing. Love, Aunt Malia. You're still helping them, Leo observed, after everything. No, I corrected him. I'm helping him. There's a difference. My phone lit up, an email from the community college where I taught financial literacy. Due to unprecedented interest in your Identifying Financial Abuse seminar, we'd like to expand it to a full course. Leo read over my shoulder. Looks like some good came from all this. Maybe, I said, dropping the envelope in the mailbox. Or maybe it's just karma paying dividends. A final text popped up, from Sarah. Diego asked if you could help with his science project next week, during my supervised visit, if you want. I showed Leo the message. What do you think? I think, he said carefully, that sometimes the bravest thing isn't walking away. It's staying to help rebuild, but with better boundaries. I typed back, Tuesday at 4, bring his textbook. As we walked to the car, I caught a glimpse of Sarah through the visitation center window. She was showing Diego something on paper, her face serious, no trace of her usual performance. He was nodding, actually smiling. "You know what Dad wrote at the end of that letter?" I told Leo. "Sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who learn to rise differently." "And have you?" he asked. "Risen differently?" I thought about my drained savings, now slowly rebuilding. About Mom's silence, which felt more honest than her excuses ever had. About Sarah, finally facing reality without an audience. About Diego, learning that love sometimes means letting people face consequences. "I think," I said, taking Leo's hand, "I'm finally standing on my own ground, and that's a different kind of rising." My phone buzzed one last time. A photo from the visitation supervisor, Diego proudly holding up his math test. "A+, thanks, Aunt Malia." I saved the photo, then turned my phone off. Some moments don't need a response. Some victories speak for themselves, and some kinds of karma come not as revenge, but as the quiet satisfaction of finally getting it right. "Coffee?" Leo suggested. "Actually," I smiled, "I think I'm ready for something stronger. It's been quite a day." "It's been quite a life," he corrected. And for the first time in forever, that felt like a good thing.
The letter from First National Bank felt like a brick in my hands. Denied. The word glared up at me in bold letters, mocking 3 years of overtime shifts and ramen dinners I'd endured to save for my first home. My name is Kaya, and until today, I thought I had everything figured out. Perfect credit score, solid down payment, even a spreadsheet tracking every penny I'd spent since college graduation. But apparently, the universe had other plans. "There must be some mistake," I told the loan officer over the phone, my voice trembling. "I've never missed a payment in my life." "Ma'am, there's a significant personal loan on your credit report, $50,000 taken out 8 months ago. That puts your debt-to-income ratio well outside our lending parameters." My stomach dropped. "What loan? I never took out any loan." "I can email you a copy of your credit report right now." I sat at my kitchen counter watching my laptop screen refresh until the email arrived. There it was, a massive personal loan through Regional Credit Union. My signature was there, but I'd never signed those papers, never even stepped foot in that bank. Then I saw the co-signers' names, my parents. The room started spinning. Mum and Dad had helped manage some of my accounts during college, but I'd taken control years ago. Except Yara. My younger sister had mysteriously acquired a brand new Range Rover a few months back, despite working part-time at a boutique. "Just a really good deal," she'd said, twirling the keys. "Don't be jealous." I grabbed my keys and drove to my parents' house, hands shaking on the steering wheel. The Range Rover sat in the driveway, gleaming in the afternoon sun like a trophy of betrayal. Mom answered the door in her tennis whites, perfectly coiffed as always. "Kaya, what a surprise. I was just about to—" I thrust the credit report in her face. "Care to explain this?" She barely glanced at it. "Oh, that? It was a family emergency. Your sister needed help getting started. You forged my signature for Yara's car loan." "Don't be dramatic. We co-signed. It's perfectly legal." Dad appeared behind her, already looking at the floor. "Princess, let's discuss this calmly." "Calmly?" My voice cracked. "You stole my identity. I just got rejected for a mortgage because of this." "Oh, please." Yara's voice floated down the stairs. She appeared in designer sweats, phone in hand. "It's not like you were actually going to buy a place. You've been talking about it forever." "Because I was saving, actually working for it, unlike some people." Mom's face hardened. "We're family. Family helps each other. Your sister needed—" "What about what I need? My credit is ruined." "You're being selfish," Mom said. "After everything we've done for you, everything you've done, like committing fraud?" Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. "Your mother thought—" "Stop defending her," I screamed. "You both knew exactly what you were doing." Yara rolled her eyes. God, you're such a drama queen. It's just money. I looked at them, really looked at them. Mom's practiced innocence, Dad's practiced avoidance, Yara's practiced entitlement. A lifetime of similar moments crashed over me: birthday money that disappeared, college funds that somehow ended up in Yara's shopping account, credit card statements I was never allowed to see. You're right, I said quietly. It is just money, and now you're going to pay it back, all of it. Mom laughed that dismissive little laugh she'd perfected over the years. Don't be ridiculous. What are you going to do, sue your own family? I walked out without another word, ignoring their calls behind me. That night, I slept in my car 3 blocks from my apartment, afraid they'd show up at my door. As I stared at the ceiling of my Honda Civic, something crystallized inside me, hard and cold and certain. They thought this was a joke, that I'd cave like always, swallow the hurt, play the good daughter, but they'd finally gone too far. They'd stolen my future thinking I wouldn't fight back. I pulled out my phone and Googled identity theft lawyers near me, then how to report financial fraud, then statute of limitations on forged signatures. You want to treat this like a game? I whispered to my dark car ceiling. Fine, let me show you the punchline. I started making calls at exactly 9 a.m. the next morning, first to the bank's fraud department, then to a lawyer who specialized in family financial abuse. By noon, I had appointments with both. The game was about to change, and this time, I was writing the rules. The regional credit union lobby was all gleaming marble and fake plants, trying too hard to look prestigious. I clutched my folder of documents: birth certificate, driver's license, credit reports, and years of carefully saved bank statements. Ms. Reyes will see you now, the receptionist said, leading me to a small office where a woman in her 50s sat reviewing files. Penny Reyes looked exactly like someone who'd spent 20 years catching liars. Sharp eyes, no-nonsense posture, and a face that had heard every excuse in the book. So, she said, studying my documents, walk me through what happened. I laid out the evidence methodically. Here's my actual signature from my passport and driver's license, and here's the signature on the loan documents. They're clearly different. She compared them, frowning. Who had access to your personal information? My parents. They managed some of my accounts in college, but I took control years ago, or thought I did. And the loan proceeds? Went straight to a car dealership for my sister's new Range Rover. Penny's eyebrows shot up. Did you authorize this purchase? I didn't even know about it until yesterday. My mortgage application was denied because of this loan. She started typing rapidly. We'll need to pull the original loan application, security footage from the day it was signed, and a memory suddenly hit me. I was 12, sitting at the kitchen table while Mom helped Yara with homework. Mom, can you help me too? I don't understand this math problem. In a minute, sweetie. Yara needs me right now. But in a minute never came. It never did when Yara needed something. Penny's voice snapped me back. Ms. Norton, are you all right? Sorry, just remembering things. She nodded knowingly. Family fraud cases are always the hardest, but they're also the most important to pursue. Without consequences, the behavior escalates. What happens if I file a formal complaint? We launch a full investigation. If fraud is confirmed, the case goes to our federal compliance team. Your parents could face serious charges. Are you prepared for that? I thought about Mom's tennis whites and practiced innocence. Dad's strategic silence. Yara's endless Instagram posts from exotic locations, funded by money that was supposed to be my future. They're counting on me not being prepared, I said. They always have. Penny slid a form across her desk. This is an affidavit of fraud. Once you sign, there's no going back. The bank will pursue all legal remedies to recover the funds. My hand shook as I reached for the pen. Will this hurt their credit? Yes, significantly. As co-signers, they'll face the same consequences as if they'd defaulted. I remembered Mom's voice. Family helps each other, but family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't forge signatures and laugh it off. I signed. Penny studied the affidavit, then made some calls. I sat there trying not to think about Christmas dinners and birthday parties that would never happen again. My phone buzzed. A text from Yara. "Mum's crying because of you. Hope you're happy." I blocked her number. Penny hung up her last call and turned to me with an expression that made my stomach clench. "Your case has triggered mandatory escalation protocols," she said carefully. "The amount and circumstances. This is likely going to federal fraud review." What does that mean? It means the FBI might get involved. Identity theft across state lines is their jurisdiction. I thought I'd feel satisfied hearing this. Instead, I felt hollow, empty, like I'd just lit a match in a room full of gasoline and couldn't take it back. But then I remembered the mortgage rejection letter, the years of savings destroyed by one forged signature, the casual way they'd laughed off stealing my future. "What's the next step?" I asked. "We'll freeze the loan and launch a formal investigation. You should expect contact from our legal department within 48 hours. She paused. "And Ms. Norton? Change all your passwords. Lock down your credit. Family fraud cases can get messy." Walking out of the bank, my phone exploded with notifications. 15 missed calls from Mom, 10 from Dad, texts saying I was overreacting, being dramatic, hurting the family. I turned my phone off and drove to work, hands steady on the wheel. They thought they knew me. The quiet daughter, the reliable one, the one who never made waves. But they'd forgotten something important. Quiet waters run deep. And I was done drowning in their lies. My phone stayed off all day. Let them panic. Let them wonder. They were about to learn that the daughter they'd underestimated had finally found her voice, and it was going to be loud. 3 days into radio silence, and my phone was a war zone. Missed calls, voicemails, text messages ranging from guilt trips to threats. I scrolled through them during my lunch break, eating a sandwich at my desk. "Your sister is devastated," Mom's latest text read. "How could you do this to your own family?" Meanwhile, Yara's Instagram told a different story. "Living my best life. Blessed Paris." Her latest post showed her sipping champagne at a rooftop bar, the Eiffel Tower twinkling in the background, all funded by my stolen credit. I opened Instagram and typed, "Freedom is saying no to those who hurt you. Jiao boundaries." Posted it. Blocked my family before they could comment. "That's some heavy stuff for a Tuesday," Elena said, peering over my cubicle wall. She was my closest work friend, always armed with coffee and uncomfortable truths. "My family stole 50 grand from me," I said. "Found out when my mortgage got rejected." Elena's eyes widened. She pulled up a chair. "Spill. Everything." So I did. The loan, the Range Rover, the fraud investigation. By the end, Elena's face was a storm cloud. "My aunt did something similar to my cousin," she said. "Used her SSN to open credit cards. Everyone told her to let it go because family. Know where that aunt is now? Prison. Because she did it to 3 more people. My mom keeps saying I'm overreacting. Gaslighting 101. Make the victim feel crazy for having normal reactions." A commotion at the office entrance cut through our conversation. My mother's voice, sharp and demanding, carried across the floor. "I need to see my daughter immediately." Elena squeezed my arm. "Back entrance, go. I'll run interference." I slipped out through the emergency stairs just as Mom rounded the corner to my desk. Through the window, I watched security escort her out, her tennis bracelet catching the sun as she gesticulated wildly. That night, the pounding on my apartment door started at 8 p.m. "Kaya," Dad's voice. "Please, just talk to us." "We can fix this." Mom's voice cracked with fake tears. "Why are you doing this?" I sat in my darkened living room, hands shaking as they continued for 20 minutes. Finally, A neighbor threatened to call the police. Their footsteps retreated, but their words lingered. The next morning, a thick manila envelope arrived at my office. No return address, just my name in careful handwriting. Inside were photocopies of documents, loan applications, signature cards, even emails discussing the plan to use my information. The postmark was from Millbrook, a small town 3 hours away, where my grandmother lived. My grandmother who, according to Mom, had died 5 years ago. I Googled Hadley Norton Millbrook and found a current address. Very much alive. Taking a personal day, I told my boss, already grabbing my keys. Elena caught me at the elevator. Hey, HR is filing a restraining order against your mom based on yesterday. You okay? No, I said honestly, but I'm about to get answers. The drive to Millbrook was a time capsule of memories. Mom crying about Grandma's death, the convenient excuse that the funeral was private, immediate family only. The way she'd change the subject whenever I asked questions. Grandma's house was exactly as I remembered. Small, neat, with a garden full of roses. My hands trembled as I knocked. The door opened, and there she was. Older, grayer, but unmistakably alive. Took you long enough, Grandma said, like we'd seen each other yesterday. Come in, we need to talk. I stepped into the house, my mind spinning. Mom said you were dead. Your mother says a lot of things. Grandma poured 2 cups of tea. I sent those documents. Figured you'd need them once the truth came out. How did you get them? I have friends at the credit union. Been watching your family's games for years. She sipped her tea. Your mother pulled the same stunt with my identity back in '95. Opened a gym franchise in my name. Nearly bankrupted me. The teacup rattled in my hands. Why didn't you stop her? I tried, but she had your father convinced I was the problem. Sound familiar? Grandma's eyes were sharp. So I walked away, kept tabs from a distance, waited for the pattern to repeat. And now it has, with me. History repeats until someone breaks the cycle. She reached for a filing cabinet. I've got more documents, bank statements, proof of other frauds. Everything you need to finish what you've started. I stared at my grandmother, this woman who'd been erased from my life, who'd been watching, waiting, gathering evidence. Why help me now? Because you're different, she said simply. You're fighting back, and baby girl, I've got a front row seat to the show. She handed me another envelope, heavy with secrets. Time to teach them that karma doesn't skip generations. Your mother was always creative with money, Grandma said, spreading documents across her kitchen table. When she married your father, she had 3 maxed out credit cards in my name, called it borrowing. I picked up a yellowed bank statement. How did she get away with it? Same way she's getting away with it now. She's pretty, charming, and very good at making people feel guilty. Grandma sorted through more papers. The gym franchise was her masterpiece. Forged my signature as guarantor, then acted shocked when it failed. I lost my retirement savings. Why didn't you press charges? Your grandfather was sick. She threatened to keep you girls away if I made trouble. Grandma's hands trembled slightly. Sometimes the price of seeing your grandchildren is silence. The weight of that hit me hard. She told us you died of cancer. Easier than explaining why I disappeared. She pulled out another folder. But I kept watching, recording, every loan, every scheme, including this. She handed me a stack of papers, emails between Mom and the credit union, loan documents, even security camera stills showing Mom and Dad at the bank. How did you get these? Margaret at the credit union was my best friend in high school. She's been sending me copies of everything. Your mother's not as clever as she thinks. My phone buzzed. A notification from Instagram. Yara had tagged me in a post. Against my better judgment, I opened it. So blessed to announce my new business venture. Huge thanks to my amazing family for believing in me and helping fund my dreams. A girl boss, a Draksh entrepreneur. The photo showed her in front of an empty storefront, holding a coming soon sign for some kind of luxury wellness spa. There's more money, I said, feeling sick. She's opening a business. Grandma wasn't surprised. Your sister posted about meeting investors last week, but look at the loan documents. That $50,000 was just the beginning. She was right. The paperwork showed a complex web of credit applications, all using my information as a foundation. The car loan was just phase one. They're planning to take out more loans, I realized, using my credit as collateral. Your mother's got expensive tastes and no conscience. Grandma's voice was hard. She'll drain you dry if you let her. I started organizing the documents like I would a work project. Timeline in one pile, financial records in another, witness statements, including Grandma's, in a third. I need to stop them before they can take out more loans, I said. Already handled. Grandma smiled grimly. Margaret put a fraud alert on your credit file this morning. They won't be able to open a paperclip in your name. My phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. Hey sis, need a small favor. Can you call the credit union and remove that fraud alert? Just a misunderstanding. Love you. I showed Grandma the text. She snorted. Your sister always did have timing. What do I do now? You've got two choices. Grandma leaned forward. You can do what I did. Walk away, stay quiet, let them keep their secrets. Or you can use everything I've gathered and burn their house of cards to the ground. They're my family, I whispered. Family doesn't steal your future. She touched my hand. Family doesn't forge your name and laugh about it over tennis. My phone lit up with another Instagram notification. Yara was live streaming from her future spa location, talking about manifesting abundance and family support systems. The rage I'd been suppressing bubbled up. Years of being the responsible one, the quiet one, the one they could count on to keep the peace. All while they stole from me, lied to me, erased people who told the truth. I want everything, I said. Every document, every record, every piece of evidence you've collected. Grandma nodded, already reaching for her filing cabinet. There's one more thing you should know. Your father's friend, Casey Ellis, the one who witnessed their signatures on the loan, he's got gambling debts. Pressure the right spots, and he'll crack. I started making notes on my phone, constructing a battle plan. Steps, sequences, pressure points. Just like planning a work project, except this one would dismantle my family's carefully constructed facade. They'll never forgive you, Grandma warned. Once you start this, there's no going back. I thought about my rejected mortgage, my stolen credit, the years of manipulation and lies, Yara's smirking Instagram posts funded by my destroyed future. Good, I said, and started taking pictures of the documents. They can add it to the list of things they'll have to explain in court. My phone buzzed one more time, another text from Yara. Come on, sis, don't be difficult. Family first, remember? I blocked her number and looked at Grandma. Tell me everything you know. Don't leave out a single detail. She smiled, the same smile I saw in my mirror when I was done being nice. Pull up a chair, baby girl. This might take a while. The anonymous tip to rich kids of Instagram was simple. Check out Alviara Norton's new spa business. Funded by identity theft and family fraud. Evidence attached. I watched from my office as the story spread. First, the gossip blog posted screenshots of Yara's luxury purchases alongside the credit union documents. Then our old private school's alumni network picked it up. By lunch, Yara's Instagram comments were flooded. Isn't this your sister? Elena asked, showing me her phone. It's all over Twitter. Karma works in mysterious ways, I said, sipping my coffee. My phone rang, a number I hadn't seen in months. Sawyer, my ex. Also a financial advisor who'd helped me start investing after college. Hey, he said when I answered. Just saw the posts about your sister. That explains a lot. What do you mean? Remember when I noticed weird activity in your credit profile last year? You said you'd look into it. He paused. I should have pushed harder. Not your fault. I was blind to a lot of things back then. Still, I feel responsible. Let me help. I've got contacts at the Regulatory Commission who should hear about this. I considered it. Sawyer had always been honest, even when it hurt. It's why we'd broken up. He saw through my family's dysfunction before I could admit it existed. Coffee? I offered. I've got documentation you should see. We met at a cafe downtown. He looked the same, steady, solid, trustworthy in his button-down shirt and sensible watch. Holy shit, he said, flipping through Grandma's files. This goes back years. They used my information as collateral for Yara's spa loans, too. Would have kept going if you hadn't stopped them. He looked up. You did the right thing, Kaya. Doesn't feel right. Feels like betrayal. They betrayed you first. He pulled out his phone. I'm texting you my friend's number at the Regulatory Commission. She handles financial fraud cases. My phone buzzed with a different notification. Yara had posted a tearful video. I can't believe my own sister would spread lies about me and our amazing parents. This business was my dream. Now trolls are attacking me because she's jealous of my success. Sawyer watched the video with raised eyebrows. Wow, she's good. Had years of practice playing victim while you played peacekeeper. He touched my hand briefly. I always wondered why you worked so hard to seem invisible. Now I get it. My phone rang. Penny Reyes from the credit union. Ms. Norton, the bank is referring your case to the state fraud unit. Police will be calling for a formal statement. What about the spa loans? Frozen pending investigation. Your sister's business accounts too. I ended the call and looked at Sawyer. It's really happening. You sound surprised. I guess I didn't think anyone would believe me. They never did before. He started gathering the documents, organizing them carefully. You've got evidence now, and witnesses, including me. I'll testify about the credit irregularities I noticed. Why help me? We haven't talked in months. Because you're finally fighting back. He smiled slightly. The Kaya I knew was always strong. She just didn't know it yet. My phone exploded with notifications. Yara had posted again, this time tagging local news stations. Family betrayal. How my sister's false accusations are destroying a female entrepreneur's dreams. She's really pushing the victim narrative, Sawyer observed. Wait for it, I said. Right on cue, Mom commented. We only wanted to help our daughters succeed. This cruel attack on our family is heartbreaking. I showed Sawyer the loan documents again. Notice how the signatures don't match? That's because Mom forged them, all of them. You've got proof? Security footage from the bank, witness statements, even emails discussing the plan. Jesus, he shook his head. They really thought you'd never fight back. They thought I'd stay quiet forever, keep playing the good daughter. And instead, I pulled up the Regulatory Commission contact he'd sent. Instead, I'm going to show them exactly what the good daughter can do. My phone lit up again. Penny Reyes. Police detective requesting interview tomorrow morning. This is going federal. Are you ready? I thought about Yara's fake tears. Mom's practiced innocence. Dad's strategic silence. Years of manipulation and theft, all hidden behind family first. Tell them I'll be there, I texted back. Then to Sawyer, want to help me prepare my statement? He was already pulling out his laptop. Let's make it bulletproof. Outside, I could see storm clouds gathering. Perfect weather for what was coming. Because this time, when the thunder rolled in, it would be wearing my voice. Mom's meltdown at my office happened on a Tuesday. I was in a meeting when security called. Your mother is in the lobby, causing a scene, the guard said. She's demanding to see you. Through the glass walls, I watched her pacing, designer handbag swinging like a weapon. Her voice carried across the floor. My daughter is destroying this family. I demand to speak to her. My boss touched my shoulder. Take the back exit. HR is handling it. I slipped out while security escorted her away, her threats echoing. You ungrateful child. After everything we've done for you. 2 hours later, HR called me in. We're filing a restraining order. This can't happen again. I nodded, numb. On my desk, my phone showed missed calls from Dad and 3 voicemails from Yara. I played the first one. They're questioning me tomorrow about the loans. How could you do this to me? To us? The second. If I go down, I'm taking them with me. Is that what you want? The third was just crying. Elena brought me coffee. Your sister's trending again. Different hashtag this time. Sure enough, Jacques Yarragate was spreading. Former classmates were sharing stories, unpaid loans, borrowed money, mysterious credit card charges. The perfect facade was cracking. My phone rang, a number I didn't recognize. This is Detective Roberts. We need to discuss the fraud case against your family. I took the call in the conference room, hands steady as I detailed everything. The forged signatures, the fake witnesses, the pattern of financial abuse. One of the witnesses, Casey Ellis, was your father's friend? The detective asked. Yes, he signed as a witness but wasn't present for the loan signing. Interesting, because Mr. Ellis just contacted us, says he's willing to make a statement. My heart jumped. Casey had been Dad's friend for 20 years. If he was talking... He claims your parents pressured him to sign, the detective continued. Says there were other documents too. Would you be willing to come in tomorrow morning? I'll be there. I called Grandma on my way home. Casey Ellis flipped, I told her. Not surprised. Your father's friends always were weak links. She paused. Be careful. Your mother's getting desperate. How do you know? She tried to access my bank accounts this morning. Good thing I changed all my passwords years ago. I thought about Mom's face at my office, the wild look in her eyes. What's her next move? When cornered, she'll try to destroy whatever she can't control. Grandma's voice hardened. Lock down everything. Bank accounts, social media, email, and Kaya? Don't be alone with any of them. That night, the emails started, first from Dad. Princess, please, we can work this out. Your mother is devastated, just drop the charges and we'll pay you back. Then from Mom. I've spoken to our lawyer. If you continue this vindictive campaign, we'll be forced to take action. Don't test me. Finally, from Yara. Hope you're happy. Mom's having anxiety attacks. Dad's not sleeping. All because you can't handle that they helped me instead of you. I forwarded everything to my lawyer without responding. At midnight, my doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Yara, mascara streaked down her face. Please, she begged through the door. Just talk to me. They're going to arrest Mom. I stayed silent. Fine, she screamed. You want to play hardball? Watch what happens when I tell them everything. About Dad's gambling, Mom's secret accounts, all of it. I recorded her rant on my phone, then sent it to Detective Roberts. The next morning, I watched from my office window as police cars pulled up to my parents' house. Mom was let out in handcuffs, still in her tennis outfit. Dad followed, head down, in his own set of cuffs. My phone buzzed. A text from Yara. They arrested them. This is all your fault. Then from an unknown number. Ms. Norton, this is ADA Matthews. We need you to come in. Your sister made some interesting statements during questioning. I grabbed my keys, my hands finally shaking. This was it, the point of no return. The moment when family secrets became public record. In my car, I found a note tucked under the windshield wiper. Dad's handwriting. We only wanted what was best for the family. I'm sorry it came to this. Too little, too late. I crumpled the note and started the engine. Time to tell the truth, all of it, and let the consequences fall where they may. Because family secrets are like poison. They only stop killing when exposed to light. The courthouse hallway felt endless. My heels clicked against marble as I walked toward courtroom C, where my family waited. Sawyer and Eleanor flanked me like guards. Ready? Elena squeezed my hand. I nodded, unable to speak. Inside, Mom sat with her lawyer, perfectly coiffed, even in her Navy courthouse suit. Dad slumped beside his own attorney, looking aged. Yara perched in the gallery, scrolling through her phone. The charges were read like a shopping list. Identity theft, bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy. Mom's face remained frozen in practiced innocence. Dad stared at his hands. Your Honor, the prosecutor began, we have documented evidence of a systematic scheme to defraud Ms. Norton of over $50,000. Yara's phone clicked loudly as she typed, probably live tweeting her own victim story. Then it was my turn to testify. Please state your name for the record. Kaya Norton. Can you identify the defendants? My mother, Daphne Norton. My father, Bryson Norton. And did they have permission to use your personal information to obtain loans? No. Did you authorize any of these transactions? No. What was the first indication something was wrong? I described the mortgage rejection, the credit report, the confrontation. With each detail, Mom's mask cracked slightly. She's lying, Yara suddenly shouted from the gallery. They were helping me start my business. She's just jealous. Order! The judge banged his gavel. One more outburst and you'll be removed. The evidence mounted. Bank records, forged documents, security footage. Casey Ellis's testimony about being pressured to witness signatures. Grandma's documentation of the pattern stretching back years. The state offers a deal, the prosecutor announced. In exchange for full restitution and dropped charges, the defendants must admit guilt and agree to financial monitoring. Mom's lawyer leaned in to whisper. She shook her head sharply. My client maintains her innocence, he said. This is a family misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? I stood up. You stole my identity. You destroyed my credit. We gave you everything, Mom finally exploded. A good home, education, opportunities, and this is how you repay us? By betraying your family? Order! The judge's gavel cracked like thunder. The defense rejects the deal, Mom's lawyer stated. Very well. The judge shuffled papers. Based on the evidence presented, I'm binding this over for trial. Defendants will surrender their passports. Mrs. Norton, given the flight risk and pattern of behavior, bail is denied. Mom's face went white. You can't do this. I have tennis tomorrow. Officers, take the defendant into custody. As they led Mom away, she turned to me. You ungrateful little... Mrs. Norton, the judge warned. Dad stood to follow his lawyer out. He paused beside me. Princess, he whispered. It wasn't supposed to be like this. No, I agreed. It wasn't. Yara stormed up, mascara running. Happy now? You've ruined everything. You ruined it, I said quietly, when you decided my future was worth less than your Range Rover. It was just money. It was my life, my dreams, my trust. We're family. Not anymore. She reeled back like I'd slapped her. You don't mean that. Watch me. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited with cameras. Yara pushed past them, already crafting her social media narrative. Dad shuffled to his car, shoulders bent. Mom was led to a police transport van, still protesting her innocence. Elena hugged me. You did it. Did I? My voice cracked. Then why does it feel like I lost everything? Because you did, Sawyer said gently. But you gained something too. What? Freedom. Later that night, I drove past the condo complex I'd dreamed of buying. A for sale sign still stood in front of Unit 12B. I parked and walked to the window, pressing my hand against the cool glass. Next year, I whispered. When my credit's cleared, when the restitution comes through, when I'm free. My phone buzzed. A text from Grandma. You did what I couldn't. Proud of you, baby girl. Then from Elena. Wine and pizza at my place? You shouldn't be alone tonight. And finally, from an unknown number, Dad. I'm sorry for everything, not just today, for all of it. I blocked his number without responding. Some bridges need to burn so you can't walk back across them. Some families need to break so you can finally break free. I touched the window one last time, then turned away. Next year would come soon enough. Tonight was for mourning what I'd lost, celebrating what I'd gained, and learning to live with both. The keys to Unit 12B felt heavy in my hand. Through the window, morning sunlight painted the empty living room gold. Ready? The realtor smiled encouragingly. I unlocked the door, stepping into my future. Not the luxury condo I'd originally dreamed of, but something better, a space bought with clean money and clear conscience. My phone buzzed, a news alert. Local influencer pleads guilty to financial fraud. The article showed Yara entering the courthouse. No designer clothes or perfect makeup this time, just a tired young woman facing consequences. The kitchen has great natural light, the realtor said, opening curtains. Perfect for morning coffee, I agreed, imagining quiet moments without drama or guilt. Elena arrived with the first box, Sawyer behind her with a lamp. Where's this going? Elena asked. Living room, by the window. We worked in comfortable silence until my phone rang, the prison's number. Aren't you going to answer? Elena asked. No. I hadn't accepted Mom's calls in weeks. Her last voicemail said enough. When you're done with this childish revenge, we'll discuss how to fix the damage you've caused. Some damage shouldn't be fixed. The doorbell rang, Grandma holding a housewarming gift. Every home needs good tea, she said, unwrapping a vintage tea set, and better memories. We set it on the kitchen counter, sunlight catching the delicate porcelain. Your mother called me, Grandma said, wanted me to convince you to drop the restitution claims. And I told her karma doesn't negotiate. She touched my cheek. Neither should you. The movers arrived with furniture. As they worked, my phone lit up with a text from Dad. The house feels empty without you. Please come home. Home. Such a loaded word. I looked around my new space. Bare walls waiting for photos, empty shelves ready for books. No guilt, no manipulation, no stolen dreams. This is home, I said aloud. Eleanor appeared with another box labeled kitchen. Mail came, she said, handing me an envelope. From the court. Inside was a restitution order. Mom and Dad would be paying back every penny with interest. Yara's assets were being liquidated. The Range Rover was already sold. Justice looks good on paper, Sawyer commented, reading over my shoulder. Looks better in reality, I replied, pinning the order to my new fridge. The movers finished. Elena ordered pizza. We sat on my floor, sharing slices and stories, when another text came through. An unknown number. It's Casey Ellis, the message read. Your father asked me to check on you. He's worried. I typed back, I'm not his concern anymore. He knows. Just wanted you to know he's getting help. Gambling addiction counseling. Too little, too late. I blocked the number. Grandma poured tea in her vintage cups. Your mother used to serve tea like this before the greed took over, back when she was still my daughter. Do you miss her? I asked. I miss who she was, not who she became. She sipped carefully. Just like you'll miss who they were supposed to be, not who they chose to be. The sun was setting when everyone left. Alone in my new space, I unpacked the last box, photos Elena had rescued from my old apartment. Mom teaching me to ride a bike, Dad at my graduation, Yara and me building sandcastles. Happy moments that felt like lies now. I set them aside, replacing them with new photos. Elena and me at wine night, Sawyer helping me move, Grandma in her garden, chosen family. My phone buzzed one last time. Yara's final Instagram post before her sentencing. Sometimes the hardest lessons come from our own choices. I'm sorry, sis. Too late, I know, but true. I didn't respond, but I didn't block her either. Some doors need to stay closed, but maybe not locked forever. Outside my window, the city lights blinked on. My reflection looked back at me, stronger, clearer, free of the weight of false obligations. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But this wasn't revenge anymore. It was resurrection, rising from the ashes of what they burned, building something new from the ruins of their lies. I made tea in Grandma's vintage cup, stood by my window, and watched night fall on my new beginning. They thought revenge was fire, but it wasn't. It was ice. It was standing right where they said I'd never be, warming my hands from the burn they made, and finally feeling the frost of their actions freeze their power over me. I took another sip of tea. Tomorrow would bring what it brought. But tonight I was home.